successful team in pro football the last 10 years with an 81% winning factor. And the team they're playing in the last 10 years has the second best record of all the clubs in the NFL. So, two teams used to doing it the right way and the winning way. Raphael Seption will be kicking off. Rick Jennings is 33. Carl Garrett is 31 for the Raiders. There's a slight breeze at the Rams' back in the first period. And the kick is a short one. And it's fumbled out of bounds. Fumbled out of bounds by number 35. That's Terry Robusky, the rookie from LSU. Looked like he topped that ball, the kicker. He just didn't get a good hit on it. Here's the lineup. Stabler at quarterback, Davis and Van Egan the running backs, Branch and Biletnikoff the wide receivers, Casper is the tight end. Raiders ball on their own 21. First down. They've got those receivers spread wide to stretch. Cutting off the 20 to the 25. Mark Van Egan hit by Billy Simpson and Isaiah Robertson. The safeties make a lot of tackles. This is the famous Oakland Raider offensive line. Shell at left tackle, Upshaw at left guard. That's their strength. Dalby's the center. Beeler's the right guard. Lawrence the right tackle. 25-yard line of Oakland. They have a second down and 6. Is Davis. He has the first down, and he's belted out of bounds again by Bill Simpson. First down for Clarence Davis, returning back to the Coliseum where he played for USC.
And so many people have criticized L.A. for running the ball, keeping it on the ground. Oakland, where they used to be the type of people that win up top, have now gone to more running. They're doing it effectively, and that's why they are.
See Youngblood, Cody Jones, Brooks, Dreyer up front with Jim Youngblood, no relation to Jack Youngblood. Jack Reynolds in the middle and Isaiah Robertson, the outside linebacker. First down, Raiders under 35. No score, we're just underway. A draw play. Davis skirts through, and he stopped short of his 45. He had a gaping hole open off the right side of his line. Robertson, the right linebacker. Pat Thomas, the left cornerback, converged to take him. Speaking of that secondary, it's a good one. The Rams have Pat Thomas on the left, a young player, Monty Jackson on the right. They don't go to him around his area much. He can pick them off. Elmendorf and Simpson, an outstanding pair of safeties. First down. Oakland's ball on their own 44. They have marched for 2 consecutive first downs. Banasak is in. Right ahead they go over the 50. Jack Reynolds made the hit.
Kurt, there's nothing that slows down a good pass rush more than a good offensive line taking it to him, gaining 5, 6, 7 yards at a crack. Now, when you take the ball like Oakland has done in the first drive and establishes you're going to run it down their throats, it really gets you a little bit skeptical about whether you should even get in your starting blocks and come after the passer, because you may not get a chance.
Oakland on the Ram 49. Second and 3. That is Clarence Davis. Cutting off left tackle, short yardage, tripped up by Isaiah Robertson. The Raiders are the top offensive club in the National Football League, number 1. They have averaged 342 yards a game. The Chicago Bears are second. The Rams rank 5th in the National Football League in total offense. They average 328 yards a game. Second down now, 8. Fake, Stabler, lots of time, shoots it out. Intercepted by the Rams at the 35. Picking the ball off is Jim Youngblood.
He was in perfect position. Stabler had enough time to throw the ball. He had Casper deep, waited for Biletnikoff, tried to get it in between the linebackers. This is a mistake Stabler very seldom makes. In fact, if I had to take a look at it, I really don't think Kenny ever saw Youngblood. He was looking for Biletnikoff, thought he was out of the way. Big turnover for L.A.
And for the Rams, you have been watching the Houston-Denver game. We welcome you here. We're just underway. No score. The Raiders took the opening kickoff moved into Ram territory, and then Stabler's thrown an interception. All right, first down for the Rams. Los Angeles on their 36. Pat Hayden on the quick pitch to McCutcheon. Outside of the 40, and he runs for a first down. Lawrence McCutcheon, who needs 36 yards in this game to pass the 1,000 mark for the year.
May not take him very long to accomplish 36 yards if he gets blocking up front like he does on this play. He's getting excellent out front protection from Horton. He's got Cappelletti doing his job before he even gets any contact. He's 8 yards down the field.
Three-man front for the Raiders. Pat Toomey is in there, surprisingly, replacing Otis Sistrunk. L.A. running out of the eye on first down. There's McCutcheon the other way on the same sweep. This time he's hauled down by Dave Rowe, the middle guard. Let's set the lineup now for the Rams. They have Pat Hayden at quarterback. Lawrence McCutcheon and Cappelletti are the running backs. Harold Jackson and Billy Waddy are the right receivers, and Terry Nelson is the tight end. Their offensive line will be Doug France at left tackle, 77. Tom Mack at left guard. Rich Saul, the center. Greg Horton, the right guard, filling in for Dennis Hare, and John Williams, the right tackle. They have an injury to George Atkinson. And a rookie, Lester Hayes of Texas A&M, is coming on the field to replace him. So while they attend to George Atkinson, timeout, the score, the Rams nothing and the Raiders nothing. Atkinson, Lester Hayes goes in. Now this is going to create some serious moves in the Oakland secondary, John.
And they are very simple. Lester Hayes is primarily a cornerback. He's come in, gone to corner. They've moved Skip Thomas over into a strong safety position. It changes the whole flow of the defensive backfield, and it could be a problem for Oakland.
The Raiders have had injuries in their secondary all year. 2 yards on that advance. John Cappelletti gets his first carry. Now here's the front three. Sistrunk is not in there. Matusik at left end. David Rowe, the middle guard. And Sistrunk has been ailing and didn't feel up to it, so Toomey started at right end. Rice at left linebacker. Monty Johnson, Willie Hall, the middle linebackers. And the Mad Stork, Ken Hendricks, is the outside right linebacker. On the Raider 49-yard line. They have a third down and 6. Hayden's first pass. Out it goes. It's complete to McCutcheon. Boy, Hayden had all the time. Trying to eat a sandwich and a cup of coffee.
It was an excellent throw by Hayden. He hit McCutcheon right on the money. Willie Hall was trying to cover him. When you give a man enough time and you're working on linebackers, eventually your backs are going to get open. Now, you see Jack Tatum went over to help Lester Hayes a little bit. He wasn't in a good position to really make a move on this football coming over the middle. You see him coming up late out of the right hand of your screen. That could be a problem for Oakland. They're going to try and exploit it.
George Atkinson looks to be his ankle or leg. First down Rams on the Raider 35. No score. 9:55 to play in the period. A couple of yards for Kuzek on Cappelletti, and that's it. Down the secondary, Skip Thomas and Willie Brown. It'll be Willie Brown and the rookie Hayes in the corners, and Jack Tatum, Skip Thomas, and now the safety men. Neil Colsey's out with an injury, and so is Charlie Phillips. One of those would be in there. Second down 8 for the Rams on the Raider 33. McCutcheon outside, turns it, and then is pushed out by Lester Hayes.
Kurt, I think what you may see an awful lot of today, particularly if you have Skip Thomas playing strong safety, the strong safety is responsible to force a lot of running plays. Now, he's not accustomed to playing strong safety. George Atkinson is. When he has to do that, it's often very possible he'll be a little late on the forces. They probably run the ball a little strong, a little more than they have in the past, and I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to run it against a team that is not familiar with each other.
Third down 3 for the Rams on the Raider 28. Looks the field over, shoots it, and it's incomplete. veteran Willie Brown just tipped it away. Intended for Billy Waddy, the very speedy rookie from Colorado. Willie Brown, 15 years. You know, he broke in the same year with the Raiders as his coach.
He's probably got as many compiled years as the rest of the backfield put together, and he's the one man that stayed healthy. Now, he's had a few nagging injuries, but nobody can take his job, and it's only because he's been playing at the level he has been that they haven't.
Rafael Seption, who's kicked 15 out of 24. This will be a 46-yard field goal. He hit one over 40 this year out of the 15 he's made. From Mexico City. And his kick is up, and it is no good. It fades to the right. So the Rams missed their scoring opportunity with 9 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the first period. Timeout on the field, and it's still Oakland nothing, Los Angeles nothing.
You just keep watching, you'll see.
When do you say Budweiser? I just did.
Right now, or any time that's right for a cold beer is perfect for the consistently smooth taste of this one. Beechwood Aged Budweiser.
When you say Budweiser, Budweiser, you said it all.
Saturday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Pittsburgh Steelers against the Bengals in Cincinnati. Join us on NBC. Final scores. Well, New England handed the Rams a nice gift today with a 16-10 victory, a comeback victory over Atlanta. The Steelers keep moving. Beat Seattle 30-20. Stabler on first down. And hit is Mark Van Egan for a loss. 85, Jack Youngblood right on him from left end. He's fired up. Look at him.
I'll tell you, when you talk about Jack Youngblood, you talk about a guy that comes to play, seems to play best in big games. He got off to a slow start this year, but every time San Francisco played him, I can remember having a long afternoon. He's the kind of guy that he's out after you, and he loves to play this game, and Oakland better not try him too often today.
Incidentally, Youngblood at 230-something and Dreyer at 240 are two of the lightest pair of defensive ends in the game. Second down, 13. Staber's pass, early intercepted. Is it intercepted or not? What do they call it? Incomplete. Pat Thomas there, and Staber was knocked down on a good pass rush.
Freddie Dreyer got in a little late. They played a few games. They tried to switch it up. They're going to do anything they can to get to Stabler because they know if they give him enough time, he'll pick them to pieces. That letting their offense control the ball for him is the defensive key for L.A. today.
And there's Denver with a 10-point win over tough Houston. Denver now is 11-1, the best record in the NFL. Chicago handed Tampa Bay a shutout and another loss, 10-0. Third down, 13. Stabler's toss over the head of Cliff Branch. He did something rare. Most times the wide receivers of Oakland don't cross into the middle.
Well, when they do, they usually have a lane. That time, defensive secondary, Monty Jackson in particular, forced Branch to get underneath, get in the area where the linebackers spend a lot of time cruising, looking for one of those receivers, and he took his eye off the ball a little bit.
Billy Waddy and Color Bryan are back. This is Ray Guy, pulled a muscle this week and boots it away. The kick is coming to Waddy. Waddy tackled immediately on his 34-yard line. And down covering is Morris Bradshaw, who's really a shadow on those punts. A 40-yard punt for Ray Guy. Bradshaw, ex of Ohio State, played wing back there, made the tackle. Timeout. Our score is still the Rams nothing and the Raiders nothing. 5 or 6 losses over there in the national title. Washington shut out Buffalo 10-0. That's the 1 o'clock game's the final score. Right now, the Rams have a first down in their 34. Hayden to Capoletti. Capoletti. Fine effort by Capoletti, the former Heisman Trophy winner. He's also an excellent blocker. He doesn't get the ball as much as McCutcheon. One reason is they like to have him block for McCutcheon.
And he does a fine job, but 5 yards on your own, as he just picked up on that play, puts quarterback in a pretty good spot to either run or throw it. on a play-action pass. One of the things I think Hayden does best.
Second down, 5 for Los Angeles. McCutcheon is hit right at the 40-yard line. John Matuzak and 58, Monty Johnson, the inside linebacker, defended well. It's slight pickup. Let's make it third and a long 4. There's Atkinson.
He's got a little ankle sprain, and his own statement is that he'll be back. Now, it's pretty hard to cover a man when your ankle is sprained, depending on the severity of it, but they certainly need him.
Pat Hayden became the starting quarterback in the 5th game of the year against New Orleans. 3rd and 4. Now he's running into problems, and he's stacked at the 32-yard line. And it is Pat Toomey who led the charge. Pat Toomey, an outstanding as a spot player defensively for the Raiders this year. Lynn Walker now will go into a punt formation. And with Neil Colsey out with an injury, Rick Jennings is going to be the safety man for the Raiders. Walker's averaged 35 yards a kick. Not distance, but he kicks the ball high. And that's a high, short kick. Fair catch called by Jennings. Look out. Huge recovery.
I think it's L.A.
Recover. The kicking game decides so much of the results of football. And look at Madden. They just fumbled a fair catch away, and the Rams are in striking distance. Nolan Cromwell recovered that, number 21, a former quarterback at University of Kansas.
Well, take a look. You see Jennings, when the ball's kicked as high as it is, he just lost it a little bit. Made a move to get back on it. Good punt coverage was allowed because the ball was so high. Was down there before any of the Raiders could recover. The Rams have a great break on the 32-yard line. It's their second one of the game.
2 turnovers now. Charge to the Raiders. Hayden fakes the handoff, will throw, swings it to McCutcheon. McCutcheon is slowed down and then dropped. He was slowed down by a fired-up rookie, Lester Hayes. McCutcheon slid off him, and then Floyd Wright did the finishing job. And Hayes is a hitter. He was a linebacker his first 2 years at Texas A&M, then became a secondary back. They're very high on his future.
Well, he's going to get a lot of time to show him today, because I think between he and Floyd Rice on the left side for Oakland, they are going to get tested.
Rice goes out. Sistrunk comes in. And they put a 4-man down line now. They're going to rush 4 men. Quick drop back. Swing out to Cappelletti. 25, 20. Cappelletti runs for the first down. Brought down by Lester Hayes from behind. Good block by Greg Horton, the right guard.
Excellent play. Quick little screen by Hayden. He goes back, doesn't give the screen away, stands as long as he can before he whips the ball outside. As he does, Cappelletti's in excellent spot, gets a good block from Horton, who's coming in from the right side, picks off Willie Hall, and Cappelletti's gone for the first down before he even has contact made.
They're going to measure. It looked like he'd fallen forward for the first down.
He's got it.
Have to measure that one.
That's a formality job there.
Rams ball. They're on the Raiders 16 and a half. Call it the 16. They always advance it to the next yard line for purpose of official statistics. There's the winningest coach in Ram history, Chuck Knox. This is his 5th season. He's been averaging 10 wins a year. That's outstanding in pro football. First down for the Rams. On the 16-yard line of the Raiders. No score. 5 minutes to play, first period. McCutcheon rams straight ahead. And he moves it to the 12-yard line. Ted Hendricks, 83. And number 39, Willie Hall, the inside linebacker, set him down.
You get a pretty good indication just how strong both these offensive lines are when a play gets stopped, which looks for no gain, and it carries 4 or 5 yards down the field, and that's happened on both sides of the ball. Second down, 6 for Los Angeles.
McCutcheon, 10. He's to the 8. Brought down by Matuzak. And they're not far from a first down. Pat Hayden, a lot better quarterback than even his own teammates thought he would be. I asked Chuck Knox yesterday, were you worried about his height? He's only 5'11". He said, why? All these big linemen are 6'6", 6'7" now, and you can't throw over them anyway. You have to throw in lanes.
He finds a way.
He does. He's nifty. He can scramble around. Mike McCoy's in. They're putting all their goal line defense in. Third down, a short yard to go. Flag is down. And there's a good stop by the Raiders with a flag down. The first penalty marker dropped in the game. John Matuzak burrowed underneath to stop that play, number 72.
You know, 2 started off very fast this year, and
offside Oakland.
Now it'll be first down inside the 5-yard line. And I was talking about Matusik. He started off very fast with Phil Villapiano playing behind him. They had really worked out a scheme as to how to do things. They were very effective. No one was picking up any yards. Oakland was playing great defense. And it seems like when Villapiano went down, Oakland's defense went with it. And I don't mean all the way. I just mean it started getting a bit vulnerable.
It is first down and goal to go for the Rams on the Raider 4. Time remaining first period, 3:45. No score. The Raiders have coughed the ball up twice. Once on interception, and then fumbled a fair punt, which has given the Rams a scoring opportunity. That's nothing. Well, maybe a half yard. Matuzak again, tackling Lawrence McCutcheon.
And a boy out of the past, Mike McCoy, made good penetration on that particular play. He comes in short yardage situations. He's strong as a bull. He backs up Dave Lowe, and he could be a big part of this ball game today if they get one more man injured.
Rod Phillips, 39. They like him around the goal line, goes in for the Rams. Capoletti's out. Let's see what Hayden calls now. They have a full house backfield. They pile that one up for no gain again. Floyd Wright. An excellent play on McCutcheon. It'll be third down and 3 to go for a Ram touchdown. John, I know you had many occasions inside the 5. This is tough territory to move. Every fan in America knows that. Did you have a special handful of plays down here, or did you just read the defense?
What you do is you take a look at the film, and you see what might be vulnerable defensively. And it's very hard to find anything. Oakland has been excellent inside their own 10-yard line, and looks like they're doing it again today.
3rd and 3 for a Ram touchdown. Gonna roll it out and throw, maybe. He runs it. And he is stopped short. David Rowe, the stamp collector, number 74, collected him at the half-yard line.
He just put a little stamp right there on Hayden.
Now they're all saying, go. But Chuck Knox gets paid to make these decisions, not the fans.
I really think they're going for it, Kurtz. They feel that even if they don't make it, they've got them inside their own 2- or 3-yard line. However, against a team like Oakland, they have to pick up a yard.
And the Rams have called a timeout.
I guess
talk it over.
They're going to discuss it. Most teams feel that in this situation, get some points on the board. That dictates what the other team must do. They don't have a full yard to go. It is a very difficult yard to pick up down there, but I have the feeling they'll go for it.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited. Pat Hayden, a Rhodes Scholar. There's Joe Namath. And let me say something about Namath. Chuck Knox yesterday said, this man, and of course Knox was with the Jets when Namath broke in. He's always been a very coachable athlete. Bear Bryant, every man has handled him. Said he's been an outstanding man to coach. He listens to coaching. He contributes. But he has helped Pat Hayden. He has contributed to the Rams. He has not been a sulker. He's done everything, gathering his experience, his football instincts to try and help young Hayden.
Well, Joe's never had any sulk in him.
No.
Or he wouldn't have had the career he's had. But he's got a kid right here in Hayden who really is a lot unlike him, personality-wise, as far as the football player is concerned. I'm sure he'll help him just by encouraging him to do what he does best, and it looks as if that's what he's been doing.
I always thought the two most understood men in sports I've known by the public were Joe Namath and Ted Williams. And you got to know them personally, altogether different than what you thought. Fourth down, they're going for it, a half yard to go. McCutcheon and Bryant, and Capoletti goes over it. Capoletti hit it, and they had to search for it.
They had an excellent block at the point of attack. When you get a block like that from the right side of your line, there's nowhere you can go but into the end zone. And on that particular case, you got to give credit to a guy like Greg Horton and John Williams. They just move people out of there on the right side. That's the reason a guy like Capoletti makes it easily. And that was easy.
Capoletti scores with 2:11 to go in the first period. That marks 32 yards. And the Raiders set it up by fumbling a punt. The kick was up by Seption. He's missed only one this year. It's good. And the Rams, a 1 to 3-point underdog, have taken the lead. Timeout. Late in the first period, Los Angeles leading Oakland 7-0.
America, you've been changing.
Coming, going, changing, growing. The things that make up life.
Why is Bank AmeriCard becoming Visa? To keep up with you.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're taking more from life.
Today, you need money that's good around the corner, all across America, and in 117 countries around the world. That's why Bank AmeriCard is becoming Visa, the most widely recognized card in the world.
Game on these two squads, and most of them performed in the Rose Bowl at Pasadena. Washington will be there this year against Michigan. Here's the kick by Seption. Rick Jennings on the 2, out to the 10, to the 20, 25, to the 30. A good run back point. He's to his 31, 32-yard line. And going down to make that tackle, there's Seption, the man that did the kicking off. Downfield to make the tackle was Bob Tifaneri, the linebacker. There's the story of the Ram drive. Capoletti capped it off, and now it's the Raiders' ball on their own 32-yard line. They moved the ball on the ground, but not in the air. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Stabler will put it up, and he throws it, and it's complete to Biletnikoff, who skips out of bounds. You've seen that one 100 times.
You have. Oftentimes he comes off to a secondary receiver who it is that happens to be on the sideline. Oftentimes Biletnikoff. This time, however, he didn't have that option. The pass rush was sufficient to make him throw the ball swiftly. Biletnikoff made a good catch, and they do have it moving.
Fred needs 7 more receptions now to become the number 4 receiver in National Football League history. That's the first completion from Stabler to the receiving machine, Biletnikoff. Now look at his outfit. He has the sleeves cut short. He has the stickum all over his hands. He has look at his knees. He has the pants pulled up above the knees to get freedom there. Look at the stickum on his socks. That's where he gets it. This guy comes out, they just wind him up, and all he does is receive the football, and he uses every measure to do it.
Oh, ragtag. He's the guy responsible for getting 24 balls in the game.
Second down and a foot to go. Van Egan powers for the first down. It'll be Oakland's ball, first down on their 44-yard line. Mark Van Egan came into this game the number 1 rusher in the American Conference. He needs 89 more yards, that is, into this game, to reach 1,101 yards, which would make him the top single rusher in Oakland history. Out it goes. It's complete to Casper, the tight end. He's up in it, but not until he has a first down. Pat Thomas upset Casper, who had just caught his 42nd pass of the year.
And just a superb play by Stabler. Sometimes it's a quarterback who allows the receiver to get open by not putting his attention on the receiver until the last moment when he throws it to him. Now you can see Casper's out there. Stabler comes back. It's a little play-action pass to freeze the linebackers. He's able to do that. Youngblood can't keep up with Casper, and he picks up a first down.
First down Raiders on the Ram 43. Van Egan outside. He's not going anywhere. He's belted out of bounds. by Billy Simpson of Michigan State. Simpson and Almendorf are a tough pair. They're up there in the top 4 of tackles. Many coaches don't like their safety men to make the tackles, figuring the linemen and linebackers should make them, but these fellows come up hard.
Well, when you have a strong safety man that's as good as a Simpson is, you allow him to get into the force action a lot. That's why he has made a lot of tackles. It really takes the burden off the linebackers. It allows them to fill their own holes and play good secondary and watch the pass, and that's why a guy like Simpson's invaluable.
Second down, 7. Davis shoots it. Great catch. Clarence Davis ripping away. Davis has a first down on the Ram 26. Caught from behind by Jack Reynolds. Ball was a little behind him. Davis curled it in. A marvelous catch by him.
Well, I'll tell you, a little behind him is no problem to Clarence Davis. He's got him beat in the linebacker situation. They've been working on linebackers all day long. He's got Jack Reynolds beat by just a step. That's enough. They pick up a first down. They've got it on the 22-yard line.
26-yard line, the spotter, John.
26.
Yeah. First down. I'll move him around, too. First down for the Raiders. Pete Banaszak has entered the lineup. They like him. Short yardage, down around the goal line. A clutch player. He's been with this club 12 years. There's the gun, ending the first period of the Los Angeles Coliseum. The Rams are leading the Raiders 7-0.
Now, a natural and synthetic motor oil, Pennzoil PZL, protects for double the miles. Double the miles of the longest oil change recommendation by car manufacturers. Today's tough driving conditions can cause motor oil to lose its ability to protect sooner than you may expect. You could be driving your oil too far, and that's why you need Pennzoil PZL. Protects for double the miles.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
The second period, 78 yards for the Raiders. Total offense, 63 for the Rams, and the Rams have the lone score. It is now 2nd and 7. Raiders on the Ram 22. That's Carl Garrett in motion. Right over the middle. Right off Garrett's hands. A little high, but it hit him in the hands, and he might have walked in.
Well, I think what happened more than anything, Kurt, is Garrett thought the ball was coming a little swifter than it was. Stabler intended to go to Casper down the field. He saw Garrett come open late, made an excellent throw. You can see Garrett go up. He just short-armed it a little bit. That's what makes the Stabler great. Garrett would love to have another try at that ball.
Garrett's out. Now 3 wide receivers are on. Branch, Bradshaw, Biletnikoff. Mike Ciani was deactivated today. He has an injured foot and will not be playing. They're putting Bradshaw and Biletnikoff on the same side. 5 backs in for the Rams. Rod Perry's on the field. They rush him, and he heaves it away. They had a strong rush on him.
Stabler had nobody within about 20 yards of that ball, Kurt, and you can't make a mistake in the official rule that he did. He was going to get his lunch eaten, and it doesn't do you any good to have the ball when that happens.
Jack Youngblood was the man that reached him and hurt him. And here's the veteran Earl Mann, who leads the AFC in points scored, 83. He has hit 17 out of 22 field goals, 12 out of 13 inside the 40. Oh, this is going to be a 39-yard attempt for Earl Mann. The wind is not a factor. David Humm is holding. And the kick is blocked by the Rams. Pat Thomas blocks the kick. Number 27, the youngster of Texas A&M. He blocked it. He's a Texan all the way. Born, brought up, still living there. He used to be the captain of the Texas A&M team.
And Earl Mann waits as long as he possibly can wait. He gets the ball off possibly a little late. Thomas not only blocks it, but gets up in time to make an excellent play on the ball. That's the 4th big play that LA's made in the game against Oakland, not making any.
Earl Mann, where'd he come from? You're right, big plays. The Rams have had them. The Raiders haven't yet. 7-0. Rams will put the ball in play under 23. We're going to have Matuzak, Rowe, Toomey, the front 3. We have no word. We're going to try and find out what's the matter with Otis Sistruck. We'll talk more about that game next Saturday between the Steelers and the Bengals. Saturday afternoon, that's right. Pro football, Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Running out of the eye, McCutcheon's to the 29-yard line of the Rams. He's tackled by Monty Johnson. Pickup of 6 for Larry. Let's check his yardage. 34 yards. And we met the man that he's out to surpass as the all-time rusher, Dick Bass. He is doing, with Dick Enberg, the radio broadcast for the Rams. This is second down, 4 yards. Flags are down, and a mess up it looked like in the Ram backfield.
It was. I do believe they will refuse the penalty. 3rd down and 4 is no cinch down to make. Otherwise, it would be 2nd and 9. The only time that Oakland has effectively stopped L.A., they fumbled a punt. And so they've had a lot of time to play defense so far in this first half.
McCutcheon now has 998 yards in the season. The next 2 will put him over the 1,000 yards.
Illegal motion, offense, number 30.
That's on McCutcheon. Motion penalty. McCutcheon entering today's game 168 yards in back of Dick Bass. He'll almost certainly pass him this season as the all-time Ram ground gainer. We have now a 2nd down and 9. They spread out in front of Hayden. Hayden now throws on the run. Gets it out to McCutcheon, who has a 1st down. Hayden throws the ball on the run very well, which makes him dangerous.
In order for a quarterback to be able to throw the ball on the run, he has to break contain. That's exactly what he did. He got Larry McCutcheon on the linebacker, Willie Hall. When you're able to do that as a quarterback, it gives you 3 or 4 extra seconds. You can always find a back coming around, picking up the slack. He hit him on the dead run, and those are big plays.
I asked Pat, he is going back to Oxford. He has 6 months more, another semester at Oxford. He's going back in January and finish up in June with his Rhodes Scholarship education. Here's the bomb. That one is nearly intercepted. Not quite. It was intended for Billy Waddy. That's the rookie, Lester Hayes, trying to feel that one over his shoulder going away, but he couldn't get to it.
Well, I tell you, Jack Tatum is no dope. He was back there helping Lester Hayes, allowing Lester to play him deep all the way. Jack was taking the inside. You can see it on your screen as well as I can. The ball was just thrown over everyone's head. That was good secondary coverage.
Now, John, the Raiders get 4 men in their front wall. They bring Sistrunk in to join Toomey, Rowe, and Matuzek. They'll have a 4-man rush. They want a better pass rush against Hayden with 2nd down 10. But Hayden, I asked him what he would do after his Oxford education. Well, then I think I'll go to law school. This man's going to be the most educated fellow in the world.
I think basically he's a football player.
Right. 2nd and 10. Reverse Capoletti. Flags are down. Capoletti is caught for a loss with Toomey. Notice how quick the veteran Toomey is. 248, but he moves laterally, and he chased Capoletti right across the field.
Well, as Pat was discussing earlier with me, he said, I've really had a luxury because I've been able to come in on 3rd downs when everyone else was a little tired. Now, when Otis Sistrunk gets hurt, and you see him in there, he is playing the first time today. He does make a fine play by penetrating, getting Capoletti to jump the pack, allowing Toomey to pick up the slack. Anyway, Toomey was saying, now I've got to play all 4 downs, and I get just as tired as the man in front of me, and it does make it a little tougher.
Number 75, not lined up on the line, offense. Declined.
John Williams, the right tackle, wasn't up on the line. The rules say you must have at least 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and the Rams had only 6. Williams forgot where the line of scrimmage was. The penalty's been declined by the Raiders. It is 3rd down and 10 to go. Sistrunk has moved to left end now. 3rd and 10 for the Rams from their 42. They get to him. There's a penalty marker down. Toomey hit him from behind as he let the ball go. Capoletti made a near miraculous catch, and this is holding against Los Angeles. They had a That's the fiercest pass rush the Raiders have had. They had 3 or 4 men penetrating.
And it's
Number 77, offense, holding, decline.
Doug Krantz was holding, and they declined that penalty. So the Rams are stalled and will kick the ball away. Glenn Walker comes in. And let's see how Rick Jennings does. The last time, his fumbled punt return set up the Ram touchdown. This time he's on the 15.
He's given him 50 yards. He is 50 yards down from the line of scrimmage.
The kick is coming to Jennings on the 17. Trying to get some blocks to the 20, goes down to the 22. The Rams have allowed the opponents only 4 yards a punt return this year. Now before the Raiders go to the attack, we'll take a timeout. The Rams are still in front, 7-0.
Made a big play. Monty Jackson turns an interception into a 35-yard return. LA's got the ball on the 26-yard line, threatening to score again, and Oakland has got to come up with something if they're going to stop it.
Monty Jackson intercepted 10 passes last year to lead the National Football League. They haven't been throwing his way this year, but Stabler did that time, and it cost him. Running out of the eye, a short yard, and that's it for Lawrence McCutcheon. Now he needs another yard for 1,000 on the season. The Rams are on the 24-yard line of the Raiders. He does have 1,000. They give him 2 yards on that, so 1,000 yards. That's 4 times in the last 5 years for McCutcheon. The 1 year he didn't make it, he wound up with 911 yards, and they held him out of the last game of the season. 4 down linemen again for the Raiders. 2nd and 8. Cappelletti on the swing outside, and Rice refused to be taken out of there. Floyd Rice, credit him with that play.
He's going to get tested a lot today, but 3 times that I can remember specifically, he's had the best of McCutcheon, who is a good blocker, but he's had the best of him and kept the offense to a no-gain situation. Now it's 3rd and 8. That's tough on a quarterback.
Rice playing well. All the Raiders, they give Rice credit, but they say they miss Villapiano, his leadership, a fiery fellow out on the field. Hayden 4 out of 7. 3rd and 8. He'll throw it. Maybe. Oh, he's jacked. 72 Matuzak with a great charge. That's the 2nd sack for the Raiders.
And you just give credit to the defensive secondary. You notice they have 6 white shirts in that right around the quarterback on this play. The only guy that didn't go is Monty Johnson. It's his job to handle what he can in the middle. Hayden would like to have gone long, had no linebacker help defensively, couldn't find an opening, and you see a big loss.
4th and 21, and the Rams are in punt formation. Rick Jennings, back a safety man. Now time called. They want a new ball. Glenn Walker will be deep. The wind is no factor. It's a hot day here in December and a smoggy afternoon in L.A.
That was the first mental lapse by the Rams. Now, it is a sin to take yourself out of field goal position, and that's what Hayden did then.
Right down the middle, a high kick. They're going to let this one bounce. The Rams may field this one. They do. It's fielded on the 13-yard line. And here's a holding. We have a holding call against the Rams. Oh, Jackie Wallace, number 20 down there. That's the captain of the special teams. Warren Bankston of Tulane, 9-year veteran, National Football League. Special teams years ago, I guess when John Brody first broke in, were a bunch of 11 guys that wanted to go out and hit somebody. Now they have their own captains and their own
they still have 11 want to go out and hit somebody, and a guy like like Warren Bankston is really a valuable asset to Oakland now, particularly when they have as many guys who've gone down as they have.
Holding, number 29, offense.
That holding's on Harold Jackson. Well, Vince Lombardi used to say, Show me a man on the special teams, I'll show you a fellow who likes to hit somebody.
I don't think anything's changed there.
They now have a 4th and 31 to go. Rick Jennings is still back on his 10-yard line. Kicks. Jennings takes it on the 12. It worked out better for the Rams. They gained 3 yards by kicking a second time. Jim Jodat, a rookie from Carthage, reserve running back, went down to cover the kick. So we'll have a timeout now. And Raiders will be deep in their own territory when they come back with a score. Rams 7, Raiders nothing.
The amazing new 1978 Dodge Colt provides more confusion for Mr. D and Mr. T.
You ought to be congratulated.
A Rams score. Otis Sistrunk's been in and out today. He's been ailing the last 2 or 3 weeks. Not up to form. Stabler now is operating from his 10-yard line. First down, he sends Van Egan up the middle. About 3 yards for Mark Van Egan. It'll be second down 7. The other 2 turnovers gave the Rams field position that they couldn't capitalize on.
Oakland's defense has played superbly up to this point in the game, Kurt. And it's really on Oakland's offensive line to move people out of there, allow them to hold on to the ball a little longer and get better field position.
See, Cincinnati won today. We want to talk about that Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game next Saturday afternoon. That's going to be a very key game. I don't know what they're doing here, but they get some yardage out of it. Breaking out of there goes Clarence Davis, and they just tripped him up. That looked like a broken play. Davis got the ball, didn't know which way to go.
I'll tell you, he did. The reason he knew which way to go once he made the wrong step, but it was supposed to be to the left side. It was a little pitch to the left. You see Stabler looking around. He's going to throw it out to the left. Davis has gone to the right. He knows he's wrong, and all of a sudden, whoops. Let's keep going, big fella. Looks like we got a little room. He breaks the secondary, and that's the first big play Oakland's had.
Almador hit him from behind right there to save perhaps a touchdown because Davis can move. They should keep that one forever in the playbook. First down, the Raiders on their 45. Now Stabler will throw it. Out it goes. It's completed. Dancing around with the ball and hit on the 49-yard line by Robertson is Cliff Branch. Branch's average is down this year. He had a bad foot all year and an ankle. That's his 27th catch. He's averaged only 16 yards. Usually he's well over 20 yards of reception.
I think most of the reason that some of the receivers for Oakland haven't caught as many balls this year is the style of attack Oakland's used. When Mark Van Egan comes on and is playing as well as he's played, along with Clarence Davis, they've run the ball more, and it's pretty hard for... They only play with 1 ball out there, so the statistics have to fall for the receivers.
Breaking through is Van Egan. He had a hole that time. And he has a first down for the Raiders. He was tripped up by Bill Simpson, the free safety. And they tripped him up on the 37-yard line of the Rams. So this drive started on the Raiders' 10. They're now on the Rams' 37. The Rams are ahead 7-0. A little over 8 minutes to play in the first half. Casper goes out. Bankston is in. Intercepted by Jim Youngblood. Hands on the ball and dropped it.
Well, it looked to me, and I can't tell for sure, that Stabler had the ball batted before it got out of that little pile right where he is. And you can see Dreyer coming over. Now, I don't know if he saw it or somebody there. It got tipped at the line of scrimmage, but that ball was moving about 1 mile an hour when it finally got to the point where Youngblood could have picked it off.
Carl, Garrett, and Van Egan lined up behind Stabler. Second down, 10 for the Raiders. This is Garrett. Garrett at the 35. Stops at the 33. And they close that one up quickly. Bill Simpson hopped on Garrett after a gain of 4. 3rd and 6 facing the Raiders. Final on that Cincinnati game. The Bengals won their 5th of the last 6. They handily defeated Kansas City today 27-7. That sets up their meeting with the Steelers next Saturday, and that could be for...
They win by 6 points. They're in the driver's seat.
That's right.
If 7.
They'd be tied with the Steelers if they could win. Look, Branch, that's why the Raiders don't like their receivers crossing over the middle.
Yeah, but both their receivers are able to cross over the middle, Kurt, and that's a good indication of the true value of a receiver. You see Dreyer coming in. He's trying to put some pressure. Shell's doing his job. He's keeping people off of Stabler. Stabler throws the ball. Youngblood's a little late. And Branch comes up with an excellent catch. You see Kenny hanging in there. He's got his lane to throw it in, and that's what makes an outstanding receiver. You don't love to go in the middle, but you will when you have to.
Stabler's attempted 12, completed 5 now. First down, 23-yard line of the Rams. Banasak to the 20, and he surges forward to the 19-yard line. Pete Banasak. He is the model for all the Raider backs when the kids come in and they want tough yardage. Say, watch old Pete do it.
He does it out there.
Second down, 6. 10-9, Green Bay leading Detroit in the 4th. 24-14, Dallas over the Eagles in the 4th. Dorsett has 2 touchdowns, one of 84 yards in the game. Tony Dorsett. He can work it. There it is, and it is tipped away. Biletnikoff had a double chance on it. Pat Thomas covered him. No interference on the play.
And Pat Thomas was all alone with Biletnikoff. Very seldom do you see a man in a position where he's got to cover Biletnikoff one-on-one. This kid's come in. It's his first year playing. He's held down that position, and they've been trying to pick on him, but nobody's been very successful.
Boy, here's one for you. Look at this one. At one stage, it was 24-7 San Francisco, and now with 1:38 to go, Tommy Kramer, the rookie, arrives past to Sammy White, 69 yards. The Vikings lead the 49ers 28-27. They're just a game ahead of the Bears. Deep in the corner. It's a touchback, an interception by Monty Jackson. Monty Jackson interception. His second interception of the game, and the 4th turnover by the Raiders.
And you see, like Stabler did not realize, I don't believe, that they were in a deep zone. He had a crossing pattern called. You expect him to be man-to-man inside the 20-yard line. Either he misread it or did not see Monty Jackson, who's standing back there waiting. Bradshaw does what he can to break it up. However, Jackson makes a great play, and they've got the ball on the 20 going the other way.
You can see when you pass in his territory, he's going to get some. 10 last year, 2 in this game on interception. We'll have a timeout. 5:50 to go in the half. The Rams still leading 7-0.
You know, it looked like a light day, with nothing to deliver but posters for the AC Spark Plug Buy 7, Get 1 free sale. What could be easier, right? Wrong. Do you know how many places sell AC Spark Plugs? And everyone with a poster like this is selling 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7, as long as supplies last. Sure, getting a free AC Spark Plug is a great idea. But you better move fast.
Energy for a stronger America.
Oil and gas aren't the only forms of energy our country's got to develop more of these days. There are 4 others. First, there's coal. Second, there's nuclear energy. Third, there's solar energy. And fourth, there's you and all the rest of us. The more energy we save, the less we'll have to depend on imports. So let's put conservation to work, along with coal, nuclear, and solar power, to provide energy for a strong America.
We're watching Kenny Stabler sitting over there with David Humm. He knows that he did what he very rarely does. He did not see Monty Jackson standing over there. It's a mistake that Stabler rarely makes, and he can't afford to make many more in this ball game.
The Rams have not made any mistakes giving the ball up. The 5-yard pickup. Capoletti stopped by Ted Hendricks. The Rams win this game. They'll clinch their division. Not only that, they would clinch a home field site in the opening round of the playoffs. The Dallas Cowboys are winning. The Cardinals lost today. The Cowboys are about in as Eastern Division champs. If they don't lose another game, they would have the home field in the opening round of the playoffs, and if they got by that, the home field in the NFC Championship game. Capoletti driving for that first down. May have it. And the coaches will tell you the home field's important. Not because you're playing on a different field, but the traveling, the control of your traveling plans, your lifestyle, where you're staying, plane trouble, all kinds of things. Weather.
And playing on your home field. I know that when you have your fans with you, it's very important, Kurt. It's not the whole of it, as you exposed. Right on the pass play, it looked like it was going to go for a no-gainer. They've got a tough job to do. Rich Saul does an excellent job as a center. He blew David Rowe off the line of scrimmage, allowed the back to pick up 6 yards, and when that happens, take a look at it. Saul's got his hands full handling Rowe, standing right over the front of him. You can see Tom Mack is having one of his fine years, and Greg Horton doing a job up front. That's how those backs pick up that 6 and 7 instead of 1 and 2. And
let's give the offensive centers some real credit when they play against a three-man line. We'll tell you why in a minute. Hayden, Capoletti fumbles the ball, and the Raiders have it. The Raiders have recovered on the 31-yard line. Pat Toomey, always alertly covering the field. And there's the first turnover charge to the Rams. Rowe is the man that knocked the ball loose.
And that is a big one. L.A. has had everything going their way in this first half. They've also been outplaying Oakland. Oakland's made 4 turnovers. All of them have cost them, but not as severely as they could have. L.A.'s got a 7-0 lead. Oakland has the ball on the 31-yard line, and this thing can get back in the hat in a hurry.
We're talking about the offensive center. The nose guard on the middle three is usually a huge tackle who outweighs the center, and the center's got to snap the ball at the same time. Quick screen to Van Egan. He's at the 30, 25, and he's piled up at the 24-yard line by Jim Youngblood, the left linebacker, and Isaiah Robertson. More scores. There's that final. And a miracle pass, 69 yards from rookie Kramer to Sammy White, a second-year wide receiver. The Vikings pull it out. If they'd have lost that one, the Bears would have tied them for the division lead. And the Jets in New Orleans, 7-all at New Orleans. Second down, 3. Short yardage. Van Egan hitting off his right guard. Jack Youngblood knifed in from the left end spot and piled him up there. Time remaining in the first half, 3:54. Cleveland's been disappointing. San Diego leading 24-0. Dan Fouts, 2 touchdown passes.
I'll tell you, he doesn't need much of that pre-seasoning.
Oh, he just a couple days warm up. Let's go, boys.
As soon as the receivers are ready, let's go.
22-yard line. Third down a yard. Bankston's in, 2 tight ends. Van Egan has the first down. Rips it away to the 14-yard line. Mark Van Egan stopped by Almodorf and Simpson in the secondary.
Again.
His second full year as a fullback in the system. Getting better all the time.
How many times have you seen Shell and Upshaw just take off and do their job when they really need it? A little third and short. Both Shell and Upshaw get a good standoff. They get good blocking from their tight end. The fullback kicks out, and Van Egan picks up 12.
Letnikoff's back in. They put Branch over in a slot with him to the left there. You see him moving around. First down, Raiders on the LA 14. Tabor is throwing, and it is complete to Casper. I don't know how Casper ever held on to that ball. It was right between Isaiah Robertson and Monty Jackson. Could have been another interception, but Big Casper elbowed him out and gathered it in.
I know how he caught it. Stabler stuck it in him. He couldn't get rid of it. He comes out now. Quarterback Kenny would love to have good knees in this situation. He'd have taken off and run the ball. He's clear. He knows he can't. He just sticks it right the only place it can be stuck, and they pick up a big gainer, second 2.
Second down, 4. Raiders on the Ram 8. We're approaching 2 minutes to go when he drives over the 5 into the 4-yard line. Pete Banaszak. That's what he can really do. Here's the final. The Cowboys have clinched their division championship. They defeat the Eagles 24-14. They'll be the home team. And if they don't lose another game, they would have the best record in the National Football Conference and would play the NFC wildcard team, whoever that is going to be. But the Cowboys won it. Dorsett ran 84 for a touchdown and 2 for a touchdown. And the rookie coming on. They're a foot short of a first down, the Raiders, on the Ram 5-yard line. Third down and a foot to go. So the team with the best record in pro football won today, Denver, They're 11-1. And the Rams are 10-2. Those are the two best records. If the Raiders win today, they would be 10-2. Wallach, Mickey Marvin have come in for blocking power. Third down and a foot to go. And the 2-minute warning now is flashed to each man. Well, they talk it over. You talk it over and see what the two clubs are going to do on this third foot to go. And we'll take timeout. 7-0. The Rams on top.
Such a simple miracle.
Ollie Spencer with the glasses, dark coat, longtime assistant coach with the Raiders offensive line. Madden in the short sleeves, Stabler the quarterback. The brain trust talking over a third and a foot to go on the Ram 4.5-yard line. Chuck Knox with his back to you, arms folded. Not a supercharged, emotional fellow on the sideline. Rather low-key, but very intense.
He knows what he's doing, too, Kurt, and I think that's the most important part of this game. He can take the heat, and it doesn't seem to change his viewpoint when he knows things are right.
They put him down. And they ran for it. Banasac. University of Miami of Florida, and they have signaled a Raider first down.
Who do you think they ran over, too? Gene Upshaw and Art Shell.
Highway 63. First, 2.5 for a Raider touchdown. The Raiders are trailing 7-0. 1:30 to go in the first half. That's Clarence Davis. He wriggles to the 1-yard line. Second down and a yard. Larry Brooks, Mike Fanning, ex of Notre Dame, third-year player, #1 draft, fixed in there as a goal line standard.
You know, Kurt, several people have expected Mike Fanning to take over when Merlin Olsen left, but Cody Jones has been doing such an outstanding job, nobody can take the job away from him, and Mike's been relegated to the short yardage.
Chuck Knox with a red hair, turning gray, second down and a yard, and Banasac scores. Banasac is over, and the Raiders are back in it.
We've talked about the left side, but George Beeler and Dave Dalby drew their shot this time. Upshaw he falls on top of Cody Jones, and Pete Banasac runs it in for a touchdown. Now, this game has all been L.A., and the score is only within 1 point.
Madden wanted to let the crowd know they had a touchdown. Earl Mann to kick. David Hum, ex of Nebraska, to hold. And we have a tie game here in Los Angeles with 54 seconds remaining in the first half. And a turnover has been costly for each club. Oakland fumbled a punt. L.A. took it in 27 yards. Capoletti scoring a yard out. And the Rams lost the ball in a fumble. And then Oakland took it in 31 yards with Banasac plunging over. Three members of the Rams' original fearsome foursome, Deacon Jones, Lamar Lundy, and Rosie Greer, here today on the Rams sidelines. Merlin Olsen, the other member of that fearsome foursome, was in Houston today covering the Oilers and the Broncos for NBC television. There are the three men. The foursome here are going to be honored with a tribute dinner, and the proceeds going to research for myasthenia gravis, the illness which Lamar Lundy has been fighting. And there they are in their prime, and they were fearsome, were they not, John Brody? You should know.
Well, I had a chance to play against them about 32 or 33 times in my career, and I think I kept some of them around the league for a while. But those four guys with Roger Brown were the finest defensive line I think's ever played this game.
And we had a little Ray Guy and number 51 of the Rams trying to block him after he kicked Rick Newsom. Guy didn't like it. Guy sort of put a little poke out at him, but
just the way it works.
That's it. Broadway Joe. Now, what do you call him? L.A. Joe?
You might call him Freeway Joe, but I think it's just Joe, and he likes it very much out here.
LA's ball on their 21st down. Rams have 54 seconds remaining in the first half. They have just been tied. That's McCutcheon. McCutcheon is hit high by Rice. Floyd Rice.
He's done better than holding his own.
Yes, sir. He has been strong over there at left linebacker today.
You know before the game starts that they're going to take their shot at Floyd Rice. The other side only has Ted Hendricks and Otis Sistrunk. So if a man has any sanity at all, he's going to try those who haven't been playing too long. And Rice is doing his job.
Rams need one more win and they clinch the Western Division title. In their last 3 games, and this is one of the last 3. They're stopped at the 25-yard line. John Cappelletti. They're going to run it out in their own territory. You'll watch them. They'll get up and start for the locker room here shortly. Now the Raiders have asked for a timeout. The Raiders have 2 timeouts left. And someone is hurt. Here's Hayden.
I think what they're hoping to see, Kurt, is Hayden's coming over to the sideline to see if they have enough time to run the clock out without having to punt it. Now, Oakland very probably wouldn't have a chance to get an offensive play off, but they would have time enough to try and block a punt. That's what they're trying to do.
Remember Lee Leonard and Brian Gumble with the latest scores and game highlights at halftime, NFL 77. Some stations will break away from the football coverage for a report on the day's news. The late tuners in. Los Angeles scored first. A plunge by Cappelletti, short plunge, 2:11 to go in the first period to make it 7-0. That was after Oakland fumbled a punt away. And then L.A. fumbled the ball at the line of scrimmage, McCutcheon. Oakland recovered on the Ram 31, and they took it on in with veteran Pete Manasak diving over for the score.
You know, both defenses have played outstandingly well. Turnovers have given the offense's the ball inside with good field position. Oakland's only been able to capitalize once. LA's had it 3 or 4 times in good field position. They've only been able to put 7 points on the board. I think you have to credit Oakland's defense primarily. And there's the man most responsible, Don Shinnick.
Yeah,
ain't he a beauty?
Looks like a madman on the sidelines. Hayden will throw. He's going deep to Jackson, and it is knocked away. Willie Brown and Jack Tatum, 24 and 32. Had that play covered. They're down to 3 seconds now.
By calling timeout, they forced L.A. to do something, and it could have created a turnover, put Oakland in a position to get 3 points. That's heads-up football.
That puts Glenn Walker in. Oh, Oakland could have 3 shots. Number 1.
They've run the ball for over 100 yards in the first half, whereas L.A., having had the ball for 24-5 runs, has only been able to pick up 75 yards. Now, that is not the kind of offensive game control plan that L.A. is accustomed to, and which has made L.A. productive over the years. People have criticized them for being a bit conservative, but they have been effective. When a coach has won over 50 games in 5 years, you know he's got a good football team. The Rams are a good football team. However, offensively, they're not getting the best of it so far.
Lawrence McCutcheon had 50 yards in the first half. He's over 1,000 for the season. That's Wendell Tyler. He's the most explosive back that the Rams have. Here's Ray Guy to kick it off. The local fans here want to see more of Tyler. Went to UCLA. He's a rookie, very popular in this area. They don't play him a lot. Just a squib kick by Guy. Bouncing around, fielded at the 25 of the Rams. Spinning his way up to the 35-yard line is Carl Eckert, a middle linebacker who became a kickoff. What was I doing with it?
Another man from San Jose State. They have produced a lot of professional football players.
We had leaders in this game. Jackson, number 1 in receiving, tied with Drew Pearson, 40 catches. Jackson has not caught a pass today. Mark Van Egan, number 1 in rushing. Ray Guy, number 1 in punting in the league. First down, Rams on their 35. McCutcheon buried at the 37-yard line. Second down, 8. Willie Hall tackled him. It's Pat Hayden at quarterback. McCutcheon, number 30. Capoletti, 22, the running back, so you haven't been with us much in the first half. Jackson, 29. Billy Waddy, the rookie, number 80. Wide receiver, Terry Nelson, the tight end, 83. Doug France and John Williams at tackles. Tom Mack, Greg Horton, the guard. Rich Saul, center. Pat Toomey, Dave Rowe, and Matuzak, the front three for the Raiders. 2nd and 8. And Hayden will put it up. Shoots it down the middle. He has a wide open man, the tight end there, Terry Nelson, who runs away with the ball and has a first down. That's the tight end, Terry Nelson.
And that's what they're going to have to do a bit more of. That was a simple little delay pattern. Terry Nelson, who has not allowed Charles Young, a fellow that had a great career in Philadelphia, to get into the lineup, goes up, he sets up. Hayden's got time to wait for him to cut underneath. He's on Floyd Rice, cuts underneath Monty Johnson. Ted Hendricks is in chase to no effect, and he picks up a first down. They've got it on the 47-yard line.
Well, the first man outside of a running back to catch a ball today for L.A. First down, the Rams on the Raider 47. Again, Hayden throws, flares it out. Capoletti dancing away and is hit, brought down on the 44-yard line of the Raiders by Floyd Rice and Lester Hayes.
And Rice made a good play. You've heard a lot about him today, and I mentioned several times that they are going to test him. Well, on the first play, they run at him. The second play, they run a little delay pass underneath him. This time, they run a screen pass, which he has to come back and commit to. He's got Lester Hayes, who is in good position to the outside. Rice comes up from the inside, and they stop that screen for about a 2-yard gain.
Willie Hall goes out, a middle linebacker, and coming in as Sistrunk. The Raiders now will rush 4 men down on 2nd and 7. Sistrunk is going to the left end. Toomey stays at right end. Matuzak and Rowe will be in the middle. I know one thing, Hayden can talk. There's Biletnikoff. He wants to catch a few more.
I hope Hayden can talk.
He's very articulate, majoring in philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford. My #1 sports hero of all time, when you put the mind and the body together, was a man named White. Byron Whizzer White, a Justice of the Supreme Court, University of Colorado. I don't think people really know how great he was. He led the NFL in ground gaining twice with 2 last-place teams, the Steelers and the Lions. He was #1 in everything he ever did.
If someone wondered about the delay at this given point, the clock wasn't working, the 30-second clock. They've got it working now, and we're underway.
Whizzer White was a Rhodes Scholar also. 2nd down, 7. McCutcheon on the handoff. He bangs it to the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Sistrunk nabs him there.
Well, I think fans notice both Matusik and Sistrunk are in. They're playing the four-man down line. They usually use it in passing situations. However, today they're using it against the run also to help Floyd Rice out. He does his job. Skip Thomas comes up on the force, and they only pick up about 4.
Now you have a 3rd down and 4 for the Rams. This is a tie game for early in the 3rd period. The score is 7-7. 3rd and 4. Tosses it out, complete to the Capoletti for the first down. That's where his scrambling ability aids him. Broken plays, picks up first downs with him, maybe even a touchdown or 2 down there.
Well, you've seen him. He has kept 2 drives continuing, and he's done it because he gets outside the contain. Now, once you get outside the contain, you really give your receivers a chance to work on linebackers. You're liable to find somebody standing all alone, which is exactly what happened with Capoletti. He picks up the first down, and that kept their drive going.
And we repeat again, some quarterbacks can't throw well on the run. Hayden can.
He's
left or right.
He's always been on it.
First down, Rams of the Raiders 32. Straight handoff. They smack over to 30 and go to the, McCutcheon goes to the 29. He's grinding it out short, 2, 3, 4 yards. He's not an explosive back, picking up long gains. He's picked up 59 yards in the game now. He's carried the ball 15 times. Last tackle was by Ted Hendricks. The Rams are threatening now. They're on the Raider 29, 2nd and 7. And the Raiders put 4 down linemen back on the field. McCutcheon. McCutcheon's to the 20 or 25. Monty Johnson.
When you get good surge out of your offensive line, which they are getting at the moment, it puts a burden on your back to pick up the linebacker, creates a bigger hole, and they've done it 3 times in this drive. Capoletti did his job on Floyd Rice, and they're productive at this point. That's what we talk about when we talk about line charge. All the Raiders are on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage.
Sistrun's out. Willie Hall's back in. 3 down linemen. 3rd and 3. And Hayden calls a timeout. Pat Hayden is a 4th. Let's see, they've had Hadel, James Harris, Jaworski, and Hayden. 4 division titles with 4 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Pat Hayden, before the game, we asked him about calling his own plays, and here's what he had to say.
Well, I've called my own plays this year now, and it's made a big difference for me. It's something that I've always wanted to do. I think all good quarterbacks do it. And after all, it is a game. It should be fun. It makes the game a lot more fun to me and more challenging.
You know, he said to me, what he said was key is that it makes it more fun. And many coaches have said, hey, a quarterback has to be having fun out there. And there's no better way to get a quarterback to having it than giving him the responsibility to go out there and do it the way he sees fit.
We've had some interesting things happen around the NFL today. The Rams, while they were in their locker room, a nice Christmas present when the New England Patriots beat Atlanta. And now all the Rams need, as you're looking at 3/4 of their secondary, an injured one, and 2/4 of their secondary, all they need is one more win to clinch the division crown. Another one for the Rams as they reel them off year after year. Cincinnati won today. So did Pittsburgh. Next Saturday at 1 o'clock. The Bengals and the Steelers. Cincinnati now has won 5 of their last 6. And if the Steelers win that one, they will be just about in as Central Division champ. Cincinnati wins, is going down to the wire between the Steelers and the Bengals. 12:30 Eastern Time next Saturday will be NFL 77. 3rd and 3 for the Rams. Boy, what time. There he is, wide open. And a flag drop. Terry Nelson crossing over. Hayden must have had 7-8 seconds back there to throw the ball.
Well, he had enough time to allow Nelson to get off the line of scrimmage. It looked as if, even had he not caught the ball, Nelson, there was an interference penalty on the right side of the Oakland secondary. But when you give a quarterback that much time, there's nothing else.
Holding, number 24, defense, decline, first down.
Defensive holding call on Willie Brown has been declined.
Let's see just exactly how much time he does have. He's back there, he's back there, he's back there. All the time, the linebacker's trying to hold up Nelson. He just gets off in time. You can see Skip Thomas is getting after him.
Well, that pattern has worked twice with a tight end cutting across. First down, Rams. 1st and 10 to go. They're just short of the Raider 10. They split the backfield. They give it to McCutcheon. McCutcheon runs it to the 7-yard line. 2nd down, 3. If he gets trapped behind the line of scrimmage, it's a major upset.
It doesn't happen very often.
There's Charlie Young, an all-pro tight end with the Eagles. Came over here, figured in a Jaworski deal, and he can't beat out Terry Nelson.
Well, you know, Klein was the guy that was playing first string before Young came, and they never really got the hang on how good Nelson was. Now they can't get him out of the lineup.
The pitch to McCutcheon. McCutcheon trying to hit him. Burrow himself forward. Hendricks is on him. The Rams are pushing the Raiders back, though, up front.
They are, but now is the real test. They've got about 3.5 yards to go. A little over 3 for a first down, and it gets awfully tough down there.
Score is 7-7. 10 minutes, 15 seconds left in the 3rd period. Madden worried. This is 3rd down and 2.5 yards for a first down. of scrimmage.
I think Toomey got a piece of it. I can't be certain, but that ball was hit just as soon as it was let go by Hayden.
And Raphael Seption comes in.
Well, let's take a look. You can see Matusik and Rode handling it in the middle. Matusik got his hand on the ball. I was mistaken. And it stopped a potential 6 points.
Seption will try the field goal. Matusik been in that Ram backfield today, number 72. This will be a short one, 21 yards. Upright right in front of his face. And here it is. And the kick is good. And the Rams have the lead on the 21-yard field goal by Seption of Mexico City. Timeout, the score, the Rams 10 and the Raiders 7.
Excuse me, ma'am. We'd like to take away their Schlitz and have them try our beer.
You want to take away their Schlitz? You want to take away...
Squibbler. Gonna have to field it on the 5. Up to the 20, 25. And he runs into Bob Tipperini. Down covering number 54. Raiders ball, first down. The Rams have had the ball most of the time here in the third period. That last drive was 11 plays for them. 9:32 to go in the third period. The Rams ahead 10-7.
Don't think the Ram defense didn't appreciate it.
Stabler's passing figures in the first half. Van Egan outside. A yard or two, and that's all. Isaiah Robertson hopped on him.
Well, you haven't seen an awful lot of Isaiah Robertson today because they don't try him very often. He's an extremely active linebacker. And Oakland goes with their tight end to the left, which puts Isaiah on the right most of the time. This time they didn't have him there, and you can see why they don't run at him very often.
Second down, 6. The Rams really settled down when they got Jack Reynolds back as middle linebacker. They traded him, or thought they traded him, to Tampa Bay for a number 1 draft pick. And Baltimore got into the act, and the commissioner overruled the contract. There's a pass to Biletnikoff. Was he open for a first down? Biletnikoff at the 50. Pat Thomas on him. He just turned in, found an open hole in the middle, and they got the ball to him.
And it almost seemed as if Biletnikoff stayed suspended in air. He went up a little bit early. Stabler had him open, put the ball the only place it could be thrown. Biletnikoff comes down with it, and I'll tell you, he's got so much stickum on him, you'd figure he'd never drop one. He doesn't.
Fred's second catch of the game, 6 more receptions. He's the number 4 receiver of all time. Oakland first down on the 50-yard line. Great protection. The pass. Drop. Coming across. Clarence Davis, I think, looking more to turn and go downfield.
Well, I think that's so, and Stabler was back there with plenty of time. He was going to Davis the whole way. He was trying to let the defensive secondary get back into their position so he could get it underneath to Davis. He sees him coming across, throws a little bit behind him. That's one of the toughest passes a back has to catch.
Second down, 10 for the Raiders. Rams ahead, 10-7. Matuzak getting a rest on the bench with a defensive unit. Big rush on this time. Look out. He's gone. They put it to him. That's the right tackle, Larry Brooks. That's the first sack today by the Rams. The Raiders have had 2 quarterbacks sacked.
And Gene Upshaw has been doing an excellent job on Jerry Brooks. However, you're not going to keep a guy with Brooks' ability from penetrating in the middle. This time, Brooks gets the best of it. Van Egan doesn't even see him. He's on Stabler before anybody can get open, and the Rams are in a hole.
Carl Garrett brings the play into the backfield. Davis goes out. 3rd and 20. Larry Brooks has been the most consistent performer for the Rams this year. And according to the coaching staff, maybe their most underrated player. 3rd and 20.
He's not underrated by the guards who play against him.
Flags are down. Great grab by Grant, but flags were down on the play. Maybe holding here.
I don't think it's a maybe, Kurt.
The Rams now are mounting a ferocious pass rush, and the Raiders are trying to keep him away from Stabler.
Getting that real good pressure up the middle, allowing Dreyer and Youngblood to come from the outside, forcing him to step up, and when they do, they're right there to meet him.
What the Rams do with this penalty, John? Will they decline it? It'll bring up.
They're going to decline it because if they don't, Branch caught the ball down there, and it'd only be it would be 4th and about 4. Now they're not going to decline that one.
Nope. They talked it over. Now it's back on the 30, and it is 3rd and 30.
Holding number 64, offense, 3rd down.
They caught George Beeler, 64, holding. 3rd and 30, and back go the Raiders. They've been sacked for 10 on this series and had a penalty for 10. The Ram fans are alive here in the Coliseum. He steps up, he shoots it out. It is incomplete. Intended for Biletnikoff.
I think we've got some kind of penalty in the backfield there. Stabler's on the ground. As he threw the ball, he got hit awfully hard.
Personal foul against the Rams. That's Mike Ray warming up in a hurry. Stabler has had a tender knee.
I'll tell you, if you're ever going to ask a guy to come up, you're going to ask Stabler. He is one of the toughest nuts that's ever played this game. He's hurting right now, but they're biding for time. I couldn't see exactly where he did get hit, but he got the ball off. After it left his hand, he got knocked down, and he's the one man that's indispensable on their ball club.
This will put the ball on the 45-yard line of the Raiders. And they're trying to make a decision. Is Stabler all right, able to continue, or will Mike Ray, the backup man, come in? Now they're going to spot it on the 40. He's wrong. They should have put it on there, and it goes to the 45. Stabler goes out.
Roughing the passer, number 85, first down.
Calls on Youngblood for roughing the passer. It's a first down. A costly penalty for the Rams and Youngblood. Raiders have the ball. They did have a 3rd and 30. Now they have a first down on their 45. The Rams are ahead 10-7. 7:35 to go in the 3rd period. And we'll get a quick report on Stabler.
I think he'll be in the ball game before we get a report on him.
Mike Ray is a good running quarterback. He comes off this bench cold. There's the ball at Van Egan. Flags are down. Look like blurs of motion on that white team, the Raiders. And this could happen with a new signal caller and a different cadence.
You bet every quarterback has his own cadence. You get accustomed to hearing one voice, and when a new voice comes in, it does make it a little difficult.
That's motion against the Raiders. And we're getting a penalty on every play now. Stabler's back in, and he'll come in with a 1st and 15.
Number 70, offense, decline.
There he goes. See him move, number 70, Henry Lawrence, the right tackle. Probably fooled by the cadence count. Different than Stabler's.
Sometimes you get a new voice, and it's the defensive linemen who start yelling the signals, and they can confuse you, too.
Now it's going to be a 2nd down. They declined it. Here's the pass. Oh, grab Biletnikoff. What a catch by Freddie Biletnikoff.
That's the kind that makes you hit your helmet and say, where did the ball go? If there was any doubt as to whether Stabler's okay, I think it should be annihilated here, because Stabler stands in there, puts the ball over Youngblood, past Pat Thomas. Biletnikoff's counting on it, picks it up, and they've got a first down. That's a great play.
All right, Vanasak enters the Oakland backfield. Van Egan goes out. First down, Raiders on the Ram 40. Rams ahead, 10-7. 3rd period. Vanasak drives, fumble. But I believe the whistle already blown the ball dead. It has. Jack Reynolds made the hit. While they untangle, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
David Horowitz talks about working at home for income, 7:30 Monday on KNBC Los Angeles.
Kurt Gowdy and John Brody back with you in Los Angeles. The Raiders have a 2nd down 5. A timeout on the officials right now. Jim Garner, Rockford Files, you see on NBC. Joe Costanza's favorite program. And he's not down here just for a camera shot. He goes to most of the Raider games up in Oakland, all over. Great Raider fan. Garrett replaces Davis in the backfield. Branch spread left. Litnikoff right. 2nd down 5. He throws the ball and high. And incomplete. Bill Simpson nearly had that one.
I'll tell you, Simpson makes a fine play, but he's in a position where when you give the quarterback enough time to do what Stabler was able to do, and he tries to take a little bit off it, Stabler waits a long time. The ball gets tipped before Simpson has a chance to get on it. You can see, boy, that baby. Ugh. And it's 3rd down and 5.
And he was high with that pass.
He was a little high with that pass. Everybody gets to miss a few.
A little juggling music, please. 3rd and 5. That's right, John. I'd be worried, too. 3rd and 5 for the Raiders. Flag down. Maybe holding again in the open backfield. They complete it to Branch. And again, that big pass rush, John. Holding against Oakland.
This drive has had about 6 penalties in it, and the only bad one happened to the Rams, that one personal foul. Usually you'll see a lot of holding take place when the defensive line is getting off on the ball, in their starting blocks, getting to the quarterback, making it real close and tough on him, and that's exactly what this drive's been about.
Let's listen.
Holding number 70, offense.
2nd time on Lawrence. He moved on motion, and now he held. This puts the ball back to the Ram 45. Makes it 3rd and 15, and 3 wide receivers are on. Garrett's out. Rod Perry becomes a nickel back for the Rams. Litnikoff, Bradshaw, and Cliff Branch spread out. They're going after him. He throws the ball and just gets it away. A great rush by Larry Brooks. The Rams pass rush is getting better as the game progresses.
Well, they're all taking turns. You can't have a great pass rush unless you've got 4 outstanding athletes down there. Henry Lawrence does his job on Youngblood. However, that isn't enough. Here comes Brooks. Great play. Drive is over.
Ray Guy to punt. Chuck Knox calls Ray Guy the greatest punter in the history of the National Football League. Quite a compliment from the opposing coach. He says he punts you out of field position and punts his own team in. He says, I hate to count the yards he gains every year for Oakland. There's a high, wobbly spiral. That one is into the end zone. A touchback. Rams ball on their 20. 1st down. And timeout. The clock shows 5:34 to go in the 3rd period. The score, Los Angeles 10, Oakland 7. He is playing in his 166th consecutive game.
That says something for you.
His father was Roy Mack, teamed up with Lou Boudreau. Double play combo for the Cleveland Indians. McCutcheon. He has 5 to the 25 of the Rams.
And if you notice, Kurt, they're going to go over their real studs. You got Tom Mack and Rich Saul both in there. Mack, I believe, is on Monty Johnson. Now, he's playing a linebacker, but he does fill in there very quick. Mack gets his job done. Johnson's been doing a fine job all day long. Mack gets the best of this one, as he does so often in tight situations.
2nd down 5. Rams under 25. Closing 5 minutes of the 3rd period. McCutcheon. 1st down. Out to the 35. Ted Hendricks nailed him there.
Boy, you can see how great it is when your tight end does a good job. That time they're trying to sweep to the right. Tom Mack couldn't even get out. McCutcheon was around before the play even got started, turned it up. Tight end had done an excellent job, caving into all the pursuit. Mack's not even out, and McCutcheon's turned it up for yardage.
Rams now first down under 35, leading 10-7. The lone score of this half, the field goal by Seption, a short one, 21 yards. Hayden looking one way and right through the arm of number 30, Lawrence McCutcheon. Notice Hayden try and look him away. He looked to the left and went back to the right.
He can look all he wants, Kurt, but if they're going to throw the ball, and they haven't thrown the ball complete to a wide receiver all day, you're going to have to hit one of those fellas outside to get any respect from the linebackers. Now, they have beaten the linebackers heretofore. It's going to be very difficult for them to beat them with their backs from now on because they haven't thrown outside.
4 down linemen in for Oakland. Willie Hall, the linebacker, leads the game. Sistrunk, Matuzik, Rowe, and Tomei. 2nd and 10. Down the middle, he's got him 50, 40, 34-yard line. Lawrence McCutcheon.
That's just great execution right then. McCutcheon gets one-on-one of Floyd Rice, beats him down the middle. Their line gives them enough time to throw the ball. I guess I'm wrong. They did beat their linebackers. Sometimes you don't have to go outside, I imagine. It does help if you put the ball right where you're supposed to, though.
That's a 31-yard pass completion from Pat Hayden to Lawrence McCutcheon. We're down to 3:40 to go now in the third period. Willie Hall's back on the field in the 3-4 setup, which is really the old Oklahoma college defense. It's to be called the Oklahoma defense.
Every team seems to play it a little different, but that's basically what it is.
There's really not much new in football. First down. A yard or two at the most. McCutcheon. He's a workhorse now, isn't he? Pat Tomei made the stop for the Oakland Raiders. Denver won today. If they joined us late, they won their 11th game out of 12. And if the Raiders do not rally here, they will be 2 games in back of Denver.
Look at that face mask on John Williams. If they get to his face, they got to be Houdini.
I think that's to protect his eyes.
Sure it is.
4 down linemen. This rush is on. Hayden pass is dropped. He dropped the ball. McCutcheon again. I think McCutcheon's figured in the last 5 plays.
He has. Hayden was going to him the whole time, but as he started to throw the ball, I think his feet got caught up with one another, and he threw the ball a little low. Let's take a look. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're not. Yep, yep. He just threw it a little low. And McCutcheon didn't come up with a big catch.
Cullen Bryant replaces McCutcheon. Give him a rest. He deserves it. 3rd down, 9 to go for the Rams. Flags are down. Got a flag drop. Here's the pass. Incomplete. And we had a flag drop. It was thrown in the Oakland secondary, but the official was looking at the line of scrimmage and into the backfield.
Once you see Pat Hayden rubbing his eye, he got a pretty good shot just as he threw the ball. But once you get out of that area where you're well protected, you're pretty much fair game, and you can't ask everybody to take their hands off.
Legal procedure against the Rams. Willie Brown, the defensive captain. He's made many decisions in his 15 years with the Raiders.
Most of them good, and that's why he's still making them.
Number 75, illegal procedure, declined, 4th down.
John Williams, the Raiders decline it. There's Williams, 75. 4th down, 9. And the punting team on for the Rams. Glenn Walker. Here's Rick Jennings. Neil Colsey normally returns punts. He's out with an injury. 20-yard line. When we resume play, the score, the Rams 10, the Raiders 7.
This is the picture Sylvania was willing to bet $100,000 on.
Slightly favored. They were favored passing figures. Clarence Davis to the 20. Outside he scampers and very close to the first down. Not quite. Steps out on the 28.5. He's into the Oakland bench and a flag has been dropped. Personal foul against the Rams, I think, for a hit, a late hit over beyond the sideline marker.
Well, I didn't see the late hit beyond the sideline marker. Certainly enhances your drive. You see Clarence Davis trying to straddle the sideline, gets enough feet in. Then they judge Isaiah making a hit after the play was over. Those are tough calls.
Unnecessary roughness, number 58, defense, first down.
That is on Isaiah Robertson, as John Brody called it, and the Raiders have a first down on their own 44-yard line. 2 minutes 15 remaining in the third period. Stabler, this way to Biletnikoff. Just steps out on the 50.
Just gain of 6.
Second down 4.
L.A. has defensed Oakland very well today outside the receiver-wise. Stabler wanted to go out to Branch. When he saw he was covered, he came back. He found Pat Thomas one-on-one with Biletnikoff and just laid it off for a gimme 5 yards.
Freddie and his wife Jennifer will become parents in the latter part of February. Biletnikoff now has caught 4 passes today for 47 yards. He raises avocados in the off-season. Big burst from Mark Van Egan. Very close to the first down. The two tough defensive clubs going at each other today, John.
You bet, but if you take a look, the left side of Oakland's line is great. The right side is equally as great. You've got George Beeler and Dalby doing their job just the way you'd like to have them doing them. If you're a Mark Van Egan, he picks up a simple little 5 yards. They got a first down.
Everything's coming the hard way for both clubs in the second half. On first down, deep retreat, the pass, no good, intended for Branch on a comebacker. He had 3 men coming back with it. He cut deep and then tried to come back to the ball. And with his speed, that's a great execution because his speed makes you afraid.
Well, he had real good defensive linebacker play by both Reynolds and Isaiah Robertson that time. These guys are awfully active. Even though they're big, they make it awful tough to complete it beneath them.
This will be second and 10. Rams are leading 10-7. Davis on a cutback. Down he goes on the 44. Jack Reynolds on it. Wonder how it feels to be traded away. And then, after lengthy haggling over your contract, to stay and make the club again as a starting middle linebacker.
You know, Kurt, it hasn't affected. Some people say, hey, it has to affect your play when you come back. With in Jack Reynolds' case, he's come back as strong, maybe stronger than ever. And LA's had 4 or 5 holdouts. When they came back, they all played well. And is a lot responsible for LA being as good as they are at this time of the year.
This was third and 9. Jackie Wallace is the 5th secondary back in for the Rams. There's he is, and it's high. It's been accepted. Number 42, Elmendorf. Elmendorf's at the 40, 45, 50, and into Oakland territory. That is the 5th turnover against Oakland.
And that one was made by the excellent coverage of the Ram defensive secondary. Stabler had plenty of time. He wanted to go to both wide men. By the time he finally got to Casper, he was covered as he had been throughout the play. And that's how you pick up those easy ones.
Well, the Raiders are lucky to be this close with 5 turnovers.
You bet they are. Their defense is playing good football. Their offense has to play as well.
The Rams have had only 1 turnover. Rams ball now on the Raiders' 47. Closing 41 seconds of the third period. Cappelletti fumbles the ball. The Raiders had every shot at it, and the Raiders come up with it.
The Raiders came up with a turnover.
Had a touchdown.
It would have been a touchdown. If Tatum had caught that ball or Thomas on the dead run, that ball was long gone. There was nobody in a position to pick it up or touch him. You can see these turnovers are coming a dime a dozen now. Cappelletti's hit a good lick by Hall. Jack Tatum is there to pick it up on one bounce. There's nobody in front of him. Oakland does recover, but they just lost the chance to score 6.
We'll take a timeout. 32 seconds remaining in the third period. Oakland has the ball when we come back. It's still 10-7 Los Angeles.
You are looking at a magic means of transportation. New Dodge Magnum XE. A splendid combination of touring car and luxury car. Consider Magnum XE's exciting update of the classic cord-type grille. Inside, a place of sophisticated instrumentation, electronic wizardry, snug, crafted, comfortable. See the new Dodge Magnum XE, a magic means of transportation.
Excuse me, Mr. Quarterback. We'd like to take away your Schlitz and have you endorse our beer.
You want to take away our Schlitz?
Raiders ball on their 42, first down. Branch left, Blitnikoff right. Blitnikoff back in motion. Complete and out of bounds is the tight end, Dave Casper. Elmendorf drove him out.
That's where, Oakland has an awful lot of creation to their offense. That time they run a Blitnikoff in motion. Generally, he goes down, goes over the middle, but he can't go anywhere. This time he gets him cleaned out so Casper can come underneath. They pick up the 8 or 9. They've got a lot of ways to go after you.
And right now, they've got a 2nd and 2. With 26 seconds to go in the third quarter. Right on the 50. Slot right. Van Egan. He has the first down.
Yards are coming tough now.
Madden's the first down. Come on.
Get those black and white stripes on, John.
They're going to measure. 42 yards for Van Egan in the game.
If this was not a first down, the stripes are wrong.
They have it. Remember coverage of the Rose and Orange Bowls Monday, January 2nd. The Rose Bowl features Michigan and Washington. Both schools will be making their 8th appearance in the granddaddy of all the bowl games. And they'll have their usual capacity crowd of 106,000. That starts at 4:30 p.m. Then NBC switches to the Orange Bowl for Oklahoma and Arkansas. Two teams that lost only one game all year, each to the University of Texas. That's the end of the third quarter in the Los Angeles Coliseum. And our score, the Los Angeles Rams 10, the Oakland Raiders 7. Kurt Gowdy, John Brody, New Orleans leading the Jets 13-10 in the fourth. First down, Oakland. 45 to the 44, and at the 43-yard line is Mark Van Egan, brought down by Bill Simpson. Here's another score. San Diego, pretty good football team, dangerous team, trampling Cleveland 37-7. And Fouts throwing 3 touchdown passes in the game.
I think he's proven his point. I think somebody's going to decide he may be able to play.
Second down, 5. Nothing happened to that pass.
Well, I'll tell you, Kurt, so often the Raiders have been effective throwing to Casper as a layoff man, throwing him as a delay man. Isaiah Robertson has been on top of Casper most all day long. He's done a great job when Casper's been in his area. That time Stabler wanted to go to him and couldn't. Had to find another receiver late. And they really haven't had many people open.
I think Dreyer may have just ticked that pass. Brett Dreyer, the right end.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He's a wild man off the field, but a very disciplined player on the field. 3rd and 5 now for the Raiders. On the Ram 43. Out to the sideline. Flag down. On Pat Thomas, 27. Against Biletnikoff.
Well, Thomas he's been doing a fine job all day long. When you play a guy like Biletnikoff that close all day long, sometime he's going to get you to commit an error. And couldn't have happened at a better time for Oakland or a worse one for the Rams.
Defensive pass interference, number 27, first down.
Pat Thomas and the L.A. fans greeted with a lusty boo. All right, we have Bradshaw. Banasak in. Branch. Biletnikoff taken out momentarily. Oakland has a first down on the Ram 32. Oakland trailing by 3. Again the pass. Pump fake. Threw it wide. Bradshaw cutting into the middle behind him. 2nd and 10. There's Earl Mann, the place kicker.
They've got to put it up there about 5 more yards in order to give Earl an excellent chance to go at it. He's about as good a kicker as there is from inside the 40-yard line. I think his range is about 45 or 6.
Davis and Banasak are the running backs for the Raiders.
But Oakland's trying to get a touchdown, Kurt. They're really not too concerned about the field goal at this point.
Now Biletnikoff and Branch are slotting to the left. 2nd and 10. Quick signal down.
His hand did not start forward. I think it was a fumble. As I was watching, Isaiah Robertson takes off. It's a blitz. Staver's trying to wait to get the Clarence Davis down the field. When they did get on Staver, and I thought it was Isaiah, he and Youngblood both. Dreyer picks it up. And he never could get it off.
That is a 6th turnover against Oakland. 2 against L.A. Passer when he's vulnerable. After the ball leaves his hand, Toomey jumped on him from behind. The ball had already been gone. Well, the Rams get a big break. Willie Hall back in a 3-4 defense for the Raiders. Squirting through is Capoletti to the 34. And he's brought down there by Jack Tatum, the safety. Final scores, New England tripping up Atlanta. New England still in the running in the East. Pittsburgh has a 1-game lead in the Central Division. Denver, 11 wins and 1 loss for the year. Best record. Bears shut out Tampa Bay. McCutcheon. A first down for Lawrence McCutcheon. The Rams hold on to this lead. They are the Western Division champions. Giants over the Cardinals. What happened to the Cardinals? Washington shut out Buffalo. Cincinnati romped against Kansas City. Green Bay shaded the Lions 10-9. Dallas about wrapped it up in their East. They do, I think. And a wild rally. The Vikings rallied and defeated the 49ers 28-27. McCutcheon, by the way, has had 90 yards in the ground in this game.
Reverse.
Here's a reverse. Billy Waddy escapes and is out of bounds. Waddy, the fleet rookie, number 80 from Colorado.
And we should give credit to Floyd Rice. He was the only man that stayed home. The pursuit had left. They didn't see the reverse. Rice sprung it out and allowed Lester Hayes and Tatum to get over there and help him out. Now, I mean, it's a tough job when you're standing out there all alone. You've got a blocker in front of you. Woo. You can see Hayden's trying to do what he can. pretty hard. Rice makes a fine play. Hayes misses him completely and overcomes Tatum.
Second down, 6 for the Rams. The Raider 27. McCutcheon. Well, he stopped there. Rowe plugged it up. David Rowe there. Seption, the field goal kicker. On the 26-yard line of the Raiders, Rams are presented with a 3rd and 5. And once again, we'll have the 4 down linemen for the Raiders.
You know, the effective thing that L.A. has been doing in the second half is they've held the ball and had sustained drives. Oakland's only had it twice. We've only got 11 minutes to play in the second half.
He'll throw. It's intercepted and dropped. Monty Johnson had the ball right in his stomach and couldn't hold on to it.
Monty Johnson has been in position to pick off more interceptions than I think any linebacker in this league. He plays excellently. He has had a problem holding on to the ball. Once he gets into position, this ball goes right through his hands, hits him in the stomach, and falls out, and there's nobody feels worse than he does.
All right, Seption now will try this field goal, and it's going to be a 44-yard attempt. He has made 1 out of 8 from 40 to 49 yards. It's up there, and it is good. Seption kicks a 44-yard field goal, and now the Raiders need a touchdown as 3 of the Pearson Portsmouth exult. Timeout. The Rams 13, the Raiders 7.
Sir, we'd like to take away your Schlitz and have you try our beer.
Shut up. Down, baby. I'll handle this. You want to take away my Schlitz? You want to take away my gusto?
Rick Jennings out with it. The 20. Just short of the 25. Rams are fired up. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati both won today. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati at Pittsburgh with a flag down. If Cincinnati defeats Pittsburgh, they'll have a flat-footed tie in the Central Division. Cleveland's getting beat badly today. Houston was licked by Denver. Cincinnati coming on has won 5 of its last 6. If the Steelers win, well, they're about in as the Central Division champs. They would play one of the other division winners. The team with the best record will play the wild card team. Personal foul against Oakland. You know, you can figure out the schedule for next year at the end of this season under the new schedule planning of the National Football League.
Number 57, receivers, unnecessary roughness, disqualified.
Randy McClanahan, 57. And has been disqualified from the game. Raiders ball on their 13, first down. Next year, you Ram fans, the Rams will play 6 games in their own division, home and away with San Francisco, Atlanta, New Orleans. 2 games against the 5th place finishers in the other divisions. They will play 4 games against the Central Division of the American Conference next year. And 4 other games. Davis. Outside. And if you took them the way they are right now, the Rams next year would play Dallas at home, Minnesota away, the Giants away, and Green Bay at home.
And right back here, Kurt, you can see Freddie Dryer's had a pretty good day all day. Art Shell is an awfully tough man to handle, but Dryer has pushed the thing outside. He's held his own. He's allowed the pursuit to catch up, and has forced Oakland to run a little wider than they'd like to and make a few less yards than they thought they would.
13-7, the Rams are ahead. Van Egan splits it, and he's out to his 25. Jack Reynolds pulls him down. That'll be a first down for the Oakland Raiders on their 25. And if you look at the Raiders schedule, they'll play 8 games in their own division, home and away. 4 games against the 4 teams of the Central Division of the National Conference. And then 4 other games. 16 games next year. Not much for Clarence Davis. They plugged that one up. Here's an interconference score. Pat Lay just kicked a 29-yard field goal. The Jets have tied New Orleans in the 4th period. 10:40 to go. It's 13-all. Here's an update in the 8-year regular season series. The NFC has the edge today over the AFC. In the making. Draw play. Davis to the 30. He has a first down. Good call by Ken Stabler. Clarence Davis drops for the first down.
And I think Simpson got his hands inside Clarence Davis's mask, poked him in the eye, and those eyes do hurt when they get stuck. Simpson made a fine play just to catch up with Davis, who broke clean on the draw play. Well, when you get hurt in the eye, your whole body goes limp. Stabler, it's a natural passing down. They've been getting a good pass rush. They get a good play by Dalby on Reynolds. Simpson has to come up, make any play he can, gets a hand on Clarence Davis, and in the process, I don't know what happened, but he didn't get his hand inside his mask.
Rams leading by 6, but their fans are uneasy. They know how many games Oakland's rallied to win over the years. Stabler throws a screen. Van Egan is down. Look at him go. He's still going, and he got to the 4th. What an effort by Mark Van Egan.
That time, I think he got knocked straight up. Stabler has a little screen pass. It's an excellent call at a fine time. He's got an Upshaw in front of him. Everybody's out there in front of him. Dalby's coming over to kick out. Van Egan falls down and then gets knocked straight back up. There's Isaiah Robertson making the tackle.
Jack Reynolds being helped off the field. Carl Eckern, number 55, will replace him. You don't think those were 2 tough yards by Van Egan?
Been a lot of tough yards made today.
Second down, 8 for the Raiders, trailing 13-7. Time remaining, 8:40 in the game. Handoff, Carl Garrett. He's to the 45-yard line. Garrett of New Mexico Highland. When he came into the league as a rookie, he said, I'm as good as O.J. Simpson. Not quite.
He was better that year. He was the rookie of the year.
And Lay has kicked another field goal, 27 yards. The Jets lead New Orleans now. 6 minutes to go in that game, 16-13. 3rd and 3 for the Raiders on their own 45. They brought the ball up from their 13-yard line. Van Egan, they've got him. Okay. The play is made by Reynolds, who's gone back in, number 64.
Let's take a look. Little pitch out, trying to get some good help in front of you. They've got Carl Garrett trying to kick out. Reynolds comes in from behind, stops it for no gain, and it's 4th down and 3.
Punt formation. Ray Guy would like to get off a boomer. Waddy and Cullen Bryant are the safety men.
You know they might have got them offside. That'd be a first down.
Flags is down. It's handled by Cullen Bryant at the 20. And he's out of bounds. You won't see a bigger safety man than that.
And you also won't see a bigger mistake than might have just been made by an L.A. Ram defensive end, because if he jumped off, it gives Oakland a first down, allows them to keep their drive going. And that is something that any coach would go right up the roof if that happens to him. And I don't think Knox is any exception if that's what the call is.
Hard to see from that angle.
We can't see it there, but on the outside of that play, he could have been pulled off, but if he wasn't, whoo.
Meeting of the board.
See Elmendorf and Mack and Simpson all in there. They've got reason to be concerned.
Can this be this complicated? It must be.
Well, you know, it's a relatively simple call, but in the heat of battle, it's very necessary to make sure everything gets straight, and that's what they did. The hole got spun right in the direction of the vacancy. Went on and picked up a big one for Oakland.
Let's check Van Egen's yardage. It's mounting. He now has 79 yards in 16 carries. They give him a breather. First down, Oakland on the Ram 30. 2 yards, that's all, for Carl Garrett. 28-yard line. Second down, 8. Rams behind by 6. That field goal of Seption is looming big. That 44-yarder.
Mike Fanning's come in in place of Cody Jones.
Throws it deep, and it is broken up in the end zone. It's broken up by Bill Simpson, intended for Biletnikoff.
And you know who made another fine play? Simpson got over there to help, but Pat Thomas covered him all the way, as he's had to all day long. He got help from Simpson, but that kid, as a rookie, has handled Biletnikoff about as well as you can ever expect. You see him down there all alone with Fred. Simpson coming in a little late, not even in the play, really.
The fans that have been watching the Cleveland-San Diego game, San Diego beating Cleveland. The score here is Los Angeles 13, Oakland 7. Oakland has the ball on the Ram 29. Third and 8 and 5.5 minutes to play. Tabor now is 12 out of 29. Crowd roaring on every play. There's the pass. It is incomplete. Oh, they had him covered. Cliff Branch is covered.
You know, Staber's had a little trouble finding his favorite guy all day today. On that particular play, Casper's trying to get out. Isaiah's got all he can handle. He does get him to the ground. That's about all you can ask of a linebacker, and boy, it sure makes your secondary play easy.
Van Egen is bringing a play on. Vanasak goes out. The Raiders are down to 4th and 8. They have had about 5 or 6 minutes of the clock on this drive. 4th and 8. Let's watch. 3 wide receivers.
5 defensive backs.
Interception. Pat Thomas intercepts. The Rams have the ball. And that is the 7th turnover against Oakland.
And there's a penalty on the play, Kurt. I don't think it's against Oakland either. Staber had a good rush on him. He actually just threw the ball away, trying to make a good play out of a bad one. 4th and 9.
Defensive holding.
That's
First
right.
down, Oakland. Oakland has a first down. Boy, this crowd's going to react to this one.
That's one of the few times that I would recommend a quarterback take any kind of chance he can. Get that ball in the air when everybody's covered as tightly as they were. Somebody may be holding when that ball goes in the air, and that's exactly what was called.
Keep the ball on 4th down penalty.
Well, you know, as Casper goes back to the huddle after being knocked down, he's going to tell the ref, watch Isaiah.
Now the ball's on the Ram 24, first down. Vanasak. Vanasak is to the 22, maybe the 21. Clock moving along, 5:15 to go. Oakland has his full complement of timeouts. The Rams have 2 left. Van Egen back in the backfield. Vanasak out. 12 plays in this drive for Oakland. It started, it seemed like an hour ago, back at their 13-yard line. Second down, 7 for the Raiders. On the Ram, 21.
toward the end. Now, he was one-on-one with Hacksaw Reynolds all the way down the field once he gets by Isaiah. They're in and outing him. You see Reynolds trying to handle him all the way down the field. Very tough job. Taylor got plenty of time to throw it. Hits Casper, and the Raiders are tied.
He went down there under some traffic, didn't he?
I'll tell you, he did everything he could to get down there, and they did everything they could to keep him from it.
Now watch this catch in the end zone, too. That's a great catch, off balance by Casper, the tight end. Now the all-important point by Errol Mann. Hum is holding. The kick is up, and it is good. And the Raiders lead 14-13 with 4:43 to play. Long ways to go. We'll be back for the kickoff. Oakland leads 14-13.
Hey, look at that. It's a chainsaw with its case. Uh-oh, somebody left it.
Let's take a look at that touchdown pass that culminated an 87-yard drive. And you hear the bump and rummer bumpers. Watch Casper shed bumpers.
Well, there's a whole lot more to playing tight end than being able to catch a ball. You have to be able to get in the position to have it thrown to you. And there can be no more difficult situation to beat than this one with Reynolds and Isaiah Robinson, both responsible to keep you from getting there. He got there, the ball got there, and it's 14-13.
That's why he's all pro. First down, the Rams now trailing. First time in the game they've trailed. From their 16, Hayden. He's got his man out there. That's Jerry Nelson, the tight end. Casper looks up at the clock. That drive of the Raiders, by the way, 13 plays. There were 3 penalties, 2 of them on 4th down, where the Raiders were losing the ball or would have lost it had not the Rams committed the 4th down penalty. Rams first down on their 37. We have 4 minutes to go. 14-13 Oakland. Cappelletti's upended. He picks up a yard at the 38-yard line of the Rams. 2nd and 9.
You know, the Rams know that they have one good drive remaining in order for them to get in a position to win this football game. And they would like to make it so that Oakland had no time left on the clock if they are able to get into a position to kick a field goal. They have to use the whole clock. They can't be in a hurry now. They know the only chance they have is this drive.
2nd down, 9. Rams have only 2 timeouts. Hayden throws on the run. Cappelletti gets away. There's a flag down. Cappelletti has excellent balance. He's hard to knock off his feet. Let's grab this one.
Illegal chuck on the defense. Decline. First down.
Illegal chuck on the defense. Decline.
You know, the really top-flight backs save their best moments for the crucial situation. You can see Floyd Rice comes in. Cappelletti gets away from him, straddles the sideline, gets rid of another blocker, gets knocked out about 1 yard past the first down marker, and they've got a first just on their side of the 50.
3 minutes, 10 seconds to go. The Rams on their own 48 with a first down. All they need is a field goal to take the lead. They're running McCutcheon. And they're breaking these Oakland tackles now. Dave Rowe running down. There's another flag drop. Looks like a face mask. Seption warming his kicking leg up. Face mask against Oakland. Now penalties are hurting the Raiders.
Well, the penalties have been pretty even all day long, Kurt. I don't think you could say they've given an edge to either team. It's been an extremely hard-fought football game, and neither team wants to give up anything. When that happens, sometimes you get a few of these.
This will give the Rams a first down on the Raider 41. And inexorably, they're working their way into field goal position.
Face mask on the defense. First down.
run. 14-13 Oakland. Capoletti again, dancing away. Oh, they nail him that time at the 43. And right there on him is number 67, Pat Toomey.
That's right. Toomey wasn't able to get to him because Lester Hayes made an excellent read of the screen pass, got in front of the blockers, and even though he missed Capoletti, he did give his pursuit time to catch up.
Second down, 12 for the Rams. Look at the penalties.
That's got to be about even, doesn't it?
Well, they came at crucial time for the Rams. 2:25 to go. Second and 12. Here's the bomb to Jackson. He's out there. He has it.
Kurt, I'll tell you, in a crucial situation like that, the offensive line hung in there, gave Hayden enough time to pump the ball over the middle, get rid of Jack Tatum, leave Harold Jackson alone on Lester Hayes, who beat him, and just a perfect throw, puts the ball game 6 points up again for L.A., and this game's going back and forth. Took them a while to get started, but I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
That's the longest touchdown pass of the Rams season. The Raiders have been hurt by long passes this year. That is the 7th touchdown pass of over 40 yards against the Oakland secondary.
You can see there is no penetration on Hayden. He's got a good 3 seconds to throw the ball. It allows Jackson to make a move before he moves deep. He's got Hayes beat, and that's all there is to it.
Well, the Rams win 80 after the Raiders win 87. The kick is up, and it is good. Well, we have a timeout, and the score, the Rams 20, the Raiders 14.
You want to start something?
Pat Hayden, who wound up his USC career, 3 touchdown passes in the Rose Bowl, continues on in the pros.
It doesn't take him long to learn.
Carl Garrett out to the 29-yard line. Well, we've got quite a football game here. The Raiders in the fourth quarter took the ball, went 87 yards for a touchdown, a 21-yard pass, Stabler to Casper. The Rams got the ball, go right back, 80 yards for a touchdown on a long bomb from Pat Hayden to Harold Jackson, who just got his first pass of the game. So the Rams now lead Oakland 20-14.
Polarized is the simplest camera in the world. You don't have to focus or anything.
I thought this was the simplest camera.
For station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is KNBC, Los Angeles.
Be sure and stay tuned at the conclusion of our telecast for the wonderful world of Disney. The adventures of Bullwhip Griffin on most of these NBC stations. 2 minutes to go. A familiar sight sometimes when you watch the Raiders and when they're behind. And Stabler has rallied them time and time again. We'll see what he does today. On first down, he throws the ball. It's complete at the 40-yard line for a first down. Stabler was decked by Jack Youngblood. Morris Bradshaw making a catch. That's the tender knee of Stabler that's been bothering him the last 2 weeks. Has been operated on twice.
He'd have to get awful tender before he'd allow himself to come off, Kurt. You need an awful lot of time to throw the kind of pass he just threw to Bradshaw. They have to get down the field, get in between those linebackers, and Stabler hung in there until the last possible second.
They have 3 timeouts left. The clock's moving against them. It was 7-7 at halftime. Now he throws it out, and it's incomplete. Trying to go to Biletnikoff. I think he just threw it away to stop the clock when he saw Biletnikoff smothered.
No doubt about it. Pat Thomas was all over him again. Take a look at Freddie. They pretty much isolated Pat Thomas on Biletnikoff and told him to forget the rest of the football game. Just take away as much of this weapon as you can. He's done about all you could ask for, even though Biletnikoff has caught 4 balls today.
If the Rams hold on, they are the Western Division champs of the National Football Conference again. The Cardinals lost today. The Rams will clinch it. Also, they would have won 5 in a row under their coach, Chuck Knox, there, and 6 of their last 7. They're a much better team than they were earlier. They got off to a sluggish start. That pass, diving attempt by Dave Casper. 3rd and 10 now, with 1:07 to go.
They're putting a big burden on some of those inside safety men and the linebackers because they're watching their wide receivers very closely. Stabler does need time, got a pretty good rush on that play, and Casper really couldn't get into the finish of his move.
Banaszak checks in for Van Egan. Finals again, New England beat Atlanta. That paved the way for the Rams today. Pittsburgh over Seattle. Denver keeps moving. They beat Houston. They've lost only 1 game, the best record in the league. 3rd down. He's got it. The 32-yard line. Now they'll have to call time.
And Youngblood made an excellent pass rush at a crucial time.
They want to thank Joe Costanza for his usual excellent research. Spotters Ken Bishop and Dennis Venetian. 10-0 Chicago over Tampa Bay. You can see these scores. Giants 27, the Cardinals 7. Washington blank Buffalo. Cincinnati rolling along, beat Kansas City 27-7. They play Pittsburgh next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern time on NBC. Detroit blank Green Bay. Green Bay beat Detroit 10-9.
4th and 20, pal.
4th and 20 is right. The last chance for the Raiders.
He catches
it to Casper. Casper has it for a 1st down. The Raiders will come in and try and stop the clock, and they do. 30 seconds to go. And the Raiders ball and the Ram 45 for a 1st down.
I don't know how many times in crucial situations Stabler has stuck the ball in the right spot, but you can see Simpson misses this ball by not an inch. Casper keeps his eye on the ball, comes down with it. They've got a 1st down, 30 seconds to go on the Ram 45-yard line. This baby's far from over.
Casper, 5 catches today for 73 yards. Unless the Raiders rally, they will have 3 losses. Denver has 1 loss. They will clinch a tie for the Western Division of the AFC. A real upset there. Because Oakland's owned this division, but no longer. Baltimore's lost only 2 games. Miami's lost 3. New England's 4. That means if Denver won the division and Baltimore, Miami, or New England won the Eastern Division, then Oakland would have to be in a struggling scramble for a playoff spot. And the Super Bowl champs are not any safety factor at all to even make the playoffs.
They've got no package next week when they play Minnesota either.
That's right. Minnesota rallied today to beat the 49ers. And Minnesota is trying to stay ahead of the Bears, who are only 1 game behind for the Central Division of the NFC. 30 seconds remaining. The Rams ahead, 20-14. The Raiders went 87 yards to score. The Rams came right back and went 80 yards to score. Raiders have 2 timeouts. That's knocked down. Pat Thomas following Biletnikoff across the field, right on him.
So many teams try to defense Oakland by letting their linebackers get into the pursuit. LA's filed that act. They're just covering the backs man-to-man with their linebackers, getting them deep to help, and they're letting that Pat Thomas cover Biletnikoff all over the field.
John, from what I've seen of the Rams today, they're peaking just right. They started slow. They lost 2 early games, their opener to Atlanta, and now they're really on the move. They're going to be tough in the playoffs.
Well, they're playing a good football game. This has been an outstanding ball game from start to finish.
3 wide receivers spread out. There's an offside against the Rams. Stabler's pass, a comebacker. Cliff Branch has it. He's short of a 1st down. Fred Dreyer committed the offside when he charged.
The big thing about the penalty, Kurt, is it gives Oakland a time to regroup, and if Stabler's up on top of it, which he generally is, while they're talking about whether they want the penalty or not, Oakland can regroup, refuse it, and get going.
They call that penalty against the Raiders. It looked like Dreyer charged off.
Yeah, they may have made a mistake.
They made a mistake. Here it is. Now they got it. Dreyer was obviously offside. He was a yard across the line of scrimmage at the snap.
Well, that's good to know we're all human.
Not much time for the snake. Joe Namath looking on. The Raiders, with the way they played in preseason and the opening of the season, everybody thought that they might just completely dominate this league. But things change, and they have changed in NFL 77. Madden, hey, wait a minute.
Madden's very involved with something, and I cannot quite figure out exactly what it is. You're pretty good at reading lips.
You're going to send Bannisack in and tell him something.
Yep.
Right after this final gun here, you'll join the wonderful world of Disney on NBC for most of the stations. Let's listen to the official.
Defense offside, second down.
They have accepted the penalty and makes it second down.
It saves them having to take a timeout at this time, Kurt. And how many downs they have left makes very little difference. They've got a long way to go.
Second and 5, and they need a touchdown. 19 seconds to go. He's under the gun. Mike Fanning, ex of Notre Dame, a #1 pick 3 years ago, got him. 4 sacks for the Rams, who've had a better pass rush today than the Raiders.
They have both with Cody Jones and Mike Fanning. Their defensive linemen have played an outstanding football game all day long. In fact, it takes an awful lot of people to play good defense, and I'd have to say that the Rams have defensed Oakland about as well as you could ask.
Another timeout by the Raiders. They're down to 1 now. 4 sacks for 41 yards. When we say a better pass rush, we must remember the Raiders play a 3-man line most of the time. The Rams stick to the old 4-3 defense. No matter what it is, they all want 7 men up at that line of scrimmage hitting somebody.
That's right. They can send any one of the 7 or all 7.
The ball now is placed on the Raider 48. Remember, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, this coming Saturday on NBC at 1 o'clock. And that will be a battle for first place in the Central Division of the American Football Conference. Kurt Gowdy and John Brody hope you'll join us. Pittsburgh win would wrap it up for them. They would have defeated Cincinnati twice. Pittsburgh knocked off Cleveland twice and split with Houston. That's a very rugged division, as you all know.
Cincinnati has to win that ball game by more than 6 points, and then they would be in charge.
Depending on the last game of the year. The Rams are about in if they hold here now with 12 seconds to go in the playoffs as the Western champs of the NFC and a home team in the first round, which is important. Favors toss. The Casper incomplete, broken up by Isaiah Robertson.
He made a great play on it, too. Stabler had a chance to get to Casper in between the linebackers. Robinson came up, made a good hit just as the ball got there. Time is running out.
These two have tangled before, John.
You bet. I'll tell you, here you go. You can see there are very few secrets. They've got everybody backed off. Isaiah's not going to let anybody get the ball and get out of bounds. He's guarding the sideline, comes in, makes a fine play on Casper.
The Raiders are down to their last play. And the Denver Broncos fans standing by their team, unless the Raiders split, have at least tied for the Western Division Championship. Now he heaves it. He gets it out of bounds, goes Grant. His clock is over. The game is over. The Rams have defeated the Raiders. The final score, the Rams 20 and the Oakland Raiders 14. Western Division champs are the Rams. And the Raiders are now in a life struggle to make the playoffs in the American Conference. Kurt Gowdy and John Brody, thank you. We'll join the wonderful world of Disney's The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin, already in progress on most of these NBC stations following these local messages.
For the whole family, the Annie...